Hello, everyone. Welcome on in and happy Friday. Look at all these amazing people. We are here with some, like I said, amazing people. But first of all, I know.
No, Josh is missing.
Yeah.
Stop being an asshole.
Well, it's a good thing I'm good at compartmentalizing then. We are here with some amazing people for the next mystery in our Vaesen saga. But first of all, I need to do things, otherwise Twitch will yell at me. The music you're hopefully hearing right now is by Adrian von Ziegler. You can find out more about his stuff if you type in music 2 in the chat. Sound effects and music during the game will be by Sirenscape. All maps and images shown are by Free League. You can find all of that in their in the official Vaesen books, including this image of the castle. The overlay and starting soon screen were made by me in Incarnate, and if you want to see what you can sort of do to help or hinder the party, you can type in perks in the chat.
Please choose help.
Why would you?
We're gonna need it.
Yeah, why would you want to hinder us? It was so lovely.
We're gonna get so hindered now.
Uh,
I didn't even do
This
anything.
is gonna be constant roadblocks.
I didn't mean you specifically.
Well, it was entirely my fault.
I mean, you clearly
Not
somebody
blenders.
with a guilty conscience there.
And not Blender's fault. It's personal.
I know what's happening.
oh yeah, I should probably do the promo stuff as well. Anywho, brain is not entirely working, so there was something I was going to say and I completely forgot it. I know there's no wandering bird attack option right now, but we do have a wandering boss option for other games.
Oh, thank God.
The reason there's no wandering bird attack option is specific to Victor.
We would never get anything done if that was an option. There would just be birds appearing constantly.
Full
Yeah.
combat
I would be
session.
buying
I know
it.
these people.
Full combat
Gonna be
session,
Josh.
just birds.
Just sitting there, just Josh grinning, hitting the button again and
Oh,
again.
now I remember what I was supposed to do. If you want to see what the players and characters were up to the last few times in the Vaesen saga, you can check that out on our YouTube, where you can also find
Ooh.
other TTRPG and similar stories that I have been creating. Such as the Monday night Eberron Noir campaign, Rails of Morning.
Yeah.
I think that was it. While I do the actual plugin stuff over on Discord, let's go and introduce our players. And we have new player to this saga, not to Vaesen. It's been here before, and we'll meet his character a little bit later on. But let's start with you, Jack. Who are you?
Hey guys, my name is Jack. You can find me on all the social media garbage at Jack Squarepeg, where I run predominantly Call of Cthulhu stuff, as well as the occasional video game potluck. Right now we're going through Alien Isolation. And the plot continues to stretch thinner and thinner as they're like, the alien actually survived this way, and it's stalking you even more now. And it's amusing to watch. So go check that out on twitch.tv/JackSquarePeg. And if you like cowboy pulp Cthulhu nonsense, basically John Carpenter's The Thing meets Good, Bad, and the Ugly, you can check out all that stuff and more over at youtube.com/@JackSquarePeg. Pew, 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 pew. That's what they do. But that was also a
Yep.
off, yeah. See? Made. Very smart, me. Yeah.
You would think that by now I would have commands telling all of this, but I don't because
I'm not that important.
A lot of effort.
totally profesh. I don't have that for anyone. So
Are
because
important. We love you, Jack.
But I don't, because I don't want to.
I want to, but I always remember it like 5 minutes before go time. So
It's
Always the
a pain.
way.
Yeah. You're live. And you're like, that would have been useful.
yep,
I'll remind you tomorrow.
I appreciate that.
I won't.
And then our Donna will be like, not right now.
Just let me
Maybe
text
next-
my
maybe
PA
next
so he
Friday
can
about
remind
5
me
minutes
to remind
before we
you.
go.
Yep. Keren, who are you? And who you
Hello.
playing?
I am Keren, sometimes known as the Mother of Bunnies. I am one half of the Twitch channel Corsair's Cove. You'll meet the other half in a second. I'm a performer, a writer, an internet addict. You can come hang out with me on the Burnt Hellscape, formerly known as Twitter. Or you can come hang out with me on Twitch on Tuesdays, where I play video games. We're currently playing Wildermyth, although we did have a foray into Slay the Princess last night, an unexpected one that was a time.
So good.
So,
We've only got about an
get
hour of
back.
the game left. You need to finish it.
I do need to finish it. Maybe I'll feel less traumatized then.
You won't.
Yeah, then we play Humblewood. Usually we play Humblewood on Thursday nights, and I play Kesh Glitterweave, a map patch ranger. But tonight, for Vaesen, I am playing Annika Blomqvist, a private detective with a revolver and a secret pocket in her hat. Yeah.
Not on
No,
the
she has a
shield.
pocket in her hat.
She does have a pocket in her hat.
Don't
I
you?
realize I should have a hat
I
on or
mean,
something.
it makes sense that you don't know it, because it's.
It's a
secret.
secret. Yeah.
Oh, fuck, of
Yeah,
course.
that's
Yes.
true.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Even Ansford doesn't know about it.
I mean,
We
You
played
got
Honey
a
Heist
point.
the other day, so I have a bunch of hats.
also female,
We
so of
played
course there are
Honey
no pockets
Yeah,
in
no
the pants. So
Yeah.
I like your hat.
Karen and
Thanks,
I
it's got
got to play
pockets.
Honey Heist with.
Lovely.
There we go.
Yeah.
Karen and I got to play Honey Heist with Grant Howitt, the author of Honey Heist, which was fucking cool
I got to see the
because
start
Phoenix
of it.
knows people.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Jess.
Karen, you look so dapper.
Did we miss
Oh,
Josh?
thank
No, Josh. Sorry, Josh.
I was talking. I didn't know if I was supposed to introduce myself. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh the Pirate. You can find me on my channel, Corsair's Cove, where I run D&D and other RPG-related games with my lovely wife, Keren, the Mother of Bunnies, and all my splendid friends, including literally all of the other people on this screen, at some points or another. Yeah, it's good. It's a fun time. We're not incestuous at all. We're too far apart for the orgy. It doesn't work. But Jack's tongue is almost long enough. I didn't know that about him. Now I do.
Just found out.
As a kiss fan, I'm not surprised at all.
Engage
you
for a
had that
reason.
work
Yeah, practice
done?
those muscles. Yeah.
Do I need to talk about anything else? I don't think I do. I have a bit of a cold, and tonight I am going to be Ansfrid Blomqvist. The also totally just a private detective, no hat. He doesn't like. Oh no, he wears a bowler hat. What am I talking about? But it's not large enough to contain a pistol. He wears his quite openly, along his side, his jars of holy water, and the pigeon on his shoulder. Ina the pigeon. That's who Ansfrid is. He's totally just a private detective, even though you're not allowed to have two of the same class in the thing at the same time. If you see him with a Ouija board, don't worry about it.
Oh,
I'm
no.
not panicked. It's
I
fine.
mean, can't really.
Technically, the Ouija board's with a mermaid right
Yeah.
now, so.
Don't worry about it. That was
Totally
Dan.
fine.
Yeah. Jess.
Tell you what, I'm just waiting for that day that Victor gets that pigeon with some birdshot. Anyway, hi, I'm Jess. I am one half, I suppose, of the disease that is infecting multiple Twitch channels. Jack, we're coming for you next. Don't worry about it. We're in your walls.
Fine.
Can't get rid of us. You can't get rid of us. Yeah, you reckon? Come on. Okay,
Yeah,
so
the
next
antibiotics
what
are
went
wearing
next
off.
Monday night? Jack's channel. So
Yeah, love it.
I'm playing Belinda. Don't remember her last name, and I'm not gonna look because it's probably different to the one that's on Zach's sheet. And they are meant to be married, so.
I believe
she
you
is
did.
a-
You did actually specify that you were keeping your name.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she would. She'd do that. Yeah, I exist to ground Victor try to keep birds away, and take pot shots at the nearest guy I don't like.
So it's all about keeping
That's
things
all you need to
on
know
or
about
in the
me.
ground.
Yep. Or just having Fluffy around, a giant
Yeah.
bloodhound who is just a little guy. He's just such a baby.
Yeah.
That's
And by pot
me,
shots, we actually mean shots, not just scathing comments.
And
No,
Lo-
but birds.
She will
Lo's
shoot
throwing
you.
pot.
Yeah, she'll shoot you, but like she'll say something really nasty first.
Yeah,
She'll
it'll be
mean
a
it.
cutting comment as well.
She rarely
Exactly.
shoots without justification.
I rarely shoot without saying anything. I have shot multiple times without justification. So
Without
many
verbalizing the
times.
justification, there's almost always a reason for it. We just don't normally get to
Yeah.
know what it is.
Wait, is justification because I wanted to?
I mean, I assume so.
Then she always has justification.
Did
You're
they
right.
do something to justify them being shot? Is the question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like bother me a little bit.
Be alive.
Yeah, exactly. One way to fix
This
that.
guy gets it.
Terris?
The fool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
hi, what?
understands.
Who are you?
Terris,
Oh,
Who
hey,
are
hi.
you, Terris?
Right. I'm Terris. Hi, I'm Sir
Okay.
Terris, your friendly neighborhood ferret. Today I will be playing Leighton Draxard, the doctor of the party.
Again, I
and
don't like the way that you say that.
He is legitimately a doctor. He is a very nice boy. He has a horse and a cat.
I mean,
And-
true.
Yeah, that's me. Yes.
All right, Zach.
Hi, I'm Zach, or Renegade Chicken. The other half, as yes, the latest course of antibiotics has once again failed to remove me. We are still here, and I'm back to play your favorite ornithophobic, traumatized soldier man.
Nice.
I
love
do
that
need you
my
to
favourite
specify
one.
what that trauma is.
Oh, that's why I said ornithophobic.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
what. I didn't
Fear of
even hear it. I was
birds.
too busy laughing at the fucking antibiotics again.
Yep.
Valid.
The human equivalent of damp in the walls.
Yep.
But in a nice way.
Yes,
As
I
I
find that what is it? I relate very strongly to the black mold growing from the vent above my wall, and that is not at all affecting my judgment.
You should get rid of that.
I,
Oh,
I've been saying that about him on my channel for months, but it hasn't worked.
no.
Once it's
Always
in
related
there,
to
luck
the
with
phrase,
that.
I grow on you like a fungus.
Tumor.
And now I have that song
Right.
stuck in my head.
Now you get
If
it.
you haven't,
Yeah.
check out Tim Minchin.
We love Tim Minchin.
grew on,
Tim mentions
grew
great.
That-
on me.
Yeah, that song was actually mine and my
hey, Adana, who the
partner's
heck are
wedding
you?
song.
Babe, new idea.
That's tracks.
Mm.
And hi, I am Ardana
I
or
will
Joe
Ardana.
or you there if some of my payers have a say in it. I am the GM and channel runner around these parts, and I also have a little bit of a cold. And I also have my brain sound alerts. That's what I'm looking for. And someone just Godzilla'd my head, so I'm gonna go try and find my train of thought. And
That's very funny.
yes, it is.
Get Godzilla.
What was I doing? Oh yes. All right. If we are all as comfortable as we are going to get, let's get this show started. Let's up on there. Get some Sirenscape going.
Alfred, an Annika, and an Alfred now. Okay.
Oh, fuck.
Big fan of that. Ah!
This would be important to note beforehand. Okay, well.
It's
well,
fine.
hey.
Fine. Don't even worry about it.
Enormous
Fine,
fan
don't
of
worry about
AAABLV.
Yep.
And that that gives us.
I'm trying to like compliment, and now now it's a name fucking issue. Good. Anyway, cool.
I mean, it looks like your run-of-the-mill school class in Sweden. So, meh.
Yeah.
If it was a run-of-the-mill one in Australia,
It's just
you'd need 2 more
the writer and
Jessicas.
me's going
Uh,
nuts. Just like a
And a couple of Davids, yeah.
And about 14 Michaelas.
Yeah.
No, that's more
Jacks.
current. Or
yeah.
There's
no,
always
yeah,
a big
Jax
And the-
definitely.
and the Khaleesi.
And like, you need
Yeah.
2 more Jessicas. Like, there's already one right here.
Well, in my class in middle school, we had a total of 27 students in that year. Tiny school. We had 2 students with my name, with my first name, in 27 students.
You had the same experience as I did. I
Yeah.
get it.
I
Great,
have
isn't it?
never met another Terris. I have never met one.
Hello, Milkblood, and
occasionally
we're
meet
about to
other
get started.
Karens, but very rarely.
We barely even started. All right, sorry, I don't know.
It's fine.
Something wrong with us.
It
I think we all knew that already.
so
Yeah.
with the current, I'm echoing on someone's thing. We shall see.
Me.
Not it. I was muted to eat.
Fair enough.
I hope it wasn't me.
Not everyone's echoing on someone's. I don't. It's a very, very, very faint echo.
I
It's
can
probably
hear it, actually.
Zach's.
Oh no, really? Hang on
Yeah.
a second. I'll just mute for a bit. If you can't hear it, I will do what I can to fix it.
Fair enough.
Testing. Wah! It's him.
Yeah, echo's gone.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
All right.
Sorry, muting.
A few months after we last saw our investigators, I don't actually know what they're called in Vaesen, but let's say investigators. We find ourselves back in Uppsala, and the relatively warm Castle Gyllenkreutz. It's a cold and clear Tuesday morning. Frost shimmers along the trees in the garden of the castle, though the sun is slowly melting it. Outside, you can clearly see that winter is fast approaching, though the first snow has yet to fall. Breakfast has just been cleared away, and there is a loud pounding sound at the front door. Algot, the butler, can be heard walking to the door, and after a few moments his footsteps can be heard leading away from the doors towards the library. Where do you find yourselves at the castle at this point?
Look, Annika's fairly predictable. She's probably in the library.
All right.
The only reason we wouldn't be is if it's been a few months. Annika and Ansfred may have been doing some like normal work. So if Annika is in the library, Ansfred might be sort of, doing some physical cleanup of that last gig. So possibly out in the gardens, digging a hole. About 6 feet long, maybe a little longer.
Well,
Oh, no.
I mean, I guess that'd be where Blender is. I'll help bury the guy.
That being said, it is November in Sweden, so maybe not. Don't know how
No,
frozen
no,
the
I'll
ground
manage.
gets.
Oh no, you
I'll
would
unfreeze it.
you would be fine. Frost hasn't set in yet.
Actually, yeah. What
Cool.
time of day is it?
Just past
Morning, breakfast.
Yeah, it's morning. Just past breakfast.
Okay. I
Gifted
think in that
souls.
case.
Like, just
Nice.
Oh yeah. No, that's good. That's tough. I'm trying to decide whether Victor is being brave. And I think if everyone else is up and about after the last mission, especially, he'll be trying. So he'll be in the library as well, sort of amongst the greatest concentration of people. But he will have found himself a corner, and if need be, constructed several piles of books around him to obscure the view from any windows.
Oh yeah, there would be several windows here. Most of the light in the library would come from natural light and windows.
Actually, yeah, you know, in that case, I think he might actually be sitting on the floor underneath a table between some windows. Just no chance of anything seeing him through the windows.
I'd like to think that Blender's just left in there while she's gone out to bury a body with Ansfred. Just like, Annika, can you just take point and just leave? Mind my
Wait,
husband,
what?
would you?
Oh,
Mind my
right.
husband, please.
Sure. Mind mine.
What?
Yeah,
Why would I need-
I'll go. I'll go sit in the library between Victor and any windows where birds might make an appearance, very casually as
Excellent.
well. Just
Is there a fireplace in the library?
Yes, there would be a fireplace in any major area of the castle where people gather, and also in a smaller one in each of your
Yes.
rooms.
So Linton would be by said fireplace with a ridiculously large pot of tea and a naked cat wearing a very odd-looking cat sweater on his lap.
Amazing.
excellent.
Please tell me Leighton knits.
He does.
Excellent.
Awesome. And during
Not
these
very well.
during these few months, another investigator has joined your ranks. Alfred, where would you find yourselves in this rather large, kind of
I don't
drafty
know anything
castle?
about anything. You're going to have to give me a bit more information.
Yeah. So
We
castle.
could always do character intros
No,
again.
where are you?
Okay.
Who's
So
in the room or come outside. Nothing bad will happen to you outside.
Castle Gyllenkreuz is a 3-story, rather slender, stone brick building. It is slowly being renovated, but it is very drafty and very cold. There is a basement with a training room / armory, and on the top, very top roof, there is an aviary. Bedrooms would be on the second floor, mainly, and then you have the entranceway. Library is also... The library is a 2-story thing, so it kind of takes up one side of the castle. I don't remember where we said it would be, but let's say it's on the I don't know if you have that image, but it's on the if you're facing the castle, the library is on the right side.
I suppose before we do any of that, am I here for a particular reason, or have I just rocked up, or what's the deal there?
So
Like, have I arrived yesterday, or like how well do I know these people?
you would be relatively new. This
Okay.
place,
Maybe
the
I arrived
society,
yesterday?
the society attracts people who has the sight, which is the ability to see Vaesen. Very few people have this, and it's usually either being born with it or from some form of traumatic event.
I understand.
This group have been spreading basically business cards to various people, and you would
And
have...
diseases.
I mean, and you would probably
And the sight occasionally.
and the sight occasionally.
Whoops.
Yeah.
One of us may have given you the sight. Accidentally.
I was going to
I
say,
don't
was he on that train?
No, he was not.
Okay.
But you would
Can
have
I make a
either...
suggestion, perhaps, that I'm being escorted by someone to my lodgings, so that way I have someone to kind of interact with as I begin.
Yeah, so when you first arrived to this castle, you would have met two people who work here. Algot, the butler, and Linnea, a fairy.
Certainly. Makes sense to me.
And Linnea is basically the house matron. She takes care of stuff that Algot wouldn't be his responsibilities. And
Victor.
I would say
Well-
that if you just arrived, I'd say you arrived a day or a couple of days before. So you're still acquainting yourself with the castle.
Maybe the fairy or the house person is showing me around.
Yep,
So
we
that
can
way I
absolutely.
meet everyone?
Can absolutely have Linnea showing you around as the butler has answered the door. So
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'll be a bit wibbly with time and just kind of show, the front door opening, and you see a older gentleman, and he's 59, and he's got sideburns that have kind of cropped out to the sides. He has a very noticeable gap in his front teeth, and very piercing blue eyes. But he looks friendly as he's holding his singular suitcase that seems to be of a certain wealth, but quite aged. And he says, "I'm sorry, am I at the right place? I'm looking for Castle insert name."
Julian
There's a loud
Kreutz.
gunshot. Loud gunshot from around what you assume would be the back of the house.
I don't mean any harm.
What?
And you hear shouting of, "No, that was my pigeon!"
No.
We've talked
Victor,
about
again?
this. It's got
Victor,
the
again?
tag on the leg.
Give me my gun back.
Question.
Well, now I have to go find the horse. God.
Would Alfred have sent advance notice of him coming to the castle?
I don't
or would
think
he
so.
just
No, just showed up.
No.
No.
Cool.
A woman's head will pop around the corner. Early to mid
Probably about the rest
40s. No, just the head. She probably heard the door. Mid 40s. Kind of giving off the vibes of, Atlantis. The older woman from Atlantis. Yeah, that kind of vibe. And
It's been a
she's
minute. Let me Google foo.
You're so valid. Like that kind of
Yeah.
vibe.
Okay. And I will.
and just-
I guess I'll just kind of go like, "Hello."
Who are you?
Well, my name is Alfred. I saw notices for people who had the. Well, I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about it, but
You can see Vaesen.
Yes, that. Of course, I've done papers on it and such. Perhaps you might have seen my work.
Leighton!
Anyway,
I found your new best friend.
What? What now? Oh, bloody cat has the pigeon!
Annika, I found your new best friend too.
And,
how long does it,
yeah.
How long does it take to get from the library to the front door?
About 2 minutes.
Cool. In 2 minutes,
Oh,
Annika
fuck.
will arrive at the front door.
Blender will walk herself down the hallway and hand out Blender. That's all she. Blender has 3 empathy.
better than normal.
Wait, no, I don't think it's 3. 1 second, dismiss.
I am.
Blender has 2
waiting for-
empathy.
It also has 2 empathy.
Oh, of
Three-
course.
All right.
How long
Who
was-
am I talking
how
to
long-
now?
Oh, Blender.
Yes.
All right. Well, no one has their names on Discord, so let me quickly write all this
Oh,
down from what
I-
I can read on the Twitch
I'll
chat.
fix that immediately.
How do
No,
I
I
fix
won't.
that?
You do that.
We cannot change our nicknames
That
in
is
your
okay.
server.
Yes. Who is Lee? Whatever that name
Leeton
is.
is me,
Leeton.
Terris.
Yeah, I can't
It's
read that
Leeton.
font, I'm afraid.
Leat
On
Leeton. Leaton.
Leeton. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll
Okay.
put
that's
everyone's
me,
names in
Terris.
game time.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Excellent. Yes.
All right. So I suppose I see Leeton first. Hello.
Yes, coming up behind Blender is a rather tall, sort of curly blonde
who's
hair.
Blender is who?
Oh, I'm introducing myself. Handout.
That's Blender. Right. I was
Yeah.
thinking of the appliance that doesn't exist yet. I understand.
Oh, no, that makes sense.
No. So
It's not inaccurate.
Not inaccurate.
but yes,
She was named for a reason.
yes, behind Blender, rather tall fellow, curly blonde hair, pale complexion, carrying a cat that has no fur, that has a dead pigeon in its mouth. The cat is wearing a knitted sweater, and he will hold the non-cat hand out to shake.
Pleasure.
Cat hat?
And I'll give the spiel again, and I suppose it's at that point I'll see Annika coming up right behind and go, and someone else. Hello. My name is Alfred. Yes.
Hello, Alfred. I'm Annika. Annika Blomqvist. Lovely to meet you. Annika is a woman in her... I can't remember exactly how old I said she was. Hang on, let me check.
At our age, about
36.
30.
Yeah, she's 36. And like she's very middle class looking. This is
All right,
not
so am I.
someone who came from wealth, but she is very neatly dressed. Her brown kind of wavy hair is kind of pinned up neatly. She's got a wedding ring on. She looks very proper. You could imagine her riding a neat bicycle around town, doing errands quite easily. And she'll shake your hand quite enthusiastically and say, "Welcome." Sorry, were we supposed to know you were coming?
No. To be fair, I did consider that, but I didn't quite know how to send mail. This place is somewhat out of the way, and do you say castle, or I'm not sure the postman heads out this way very much, from my understanding.
Oh, he has been known to get a little concerned about, the gunshots, but we're working on him.
Oh, I tend to go out to the post office on my rounds around town.
Yes, we have
With
a
the
PO
local
box.
doctor. And
Well,
the local doctor.
this was somewhat spontaneous, but
Well.
it's school term is over, so for the holidays at the very least, I'm seeing other potentially like-minded individuals. I suppose I should give a brief explanation of who I am and what I'm doing here.
He said he writes
I'm-
on paper.
I do.
Oh.
I do. What do you write on?
I don't.
Ah,
How about over a cup of tea?
certainly.
I do have a pot already made.
Very good.
Of course you do, Ethan, of course you do. And I'll give the cat a little scritch.
I
Yes,
will
the
happily
rolling,
partake.
purring
and
creature. Purrs more
over-
loudly.
I'll happily give the well, first I'll probably here's a question. Because cats are somewhat like in a lot of stories like kind of connected mythologically and like are able to see things supernaturally and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
The reason I ask is because of his thing, which you know, like what his studies are and all of that stuff. Can I attempt to sort of I sort of imagine him communicating, not like, like in rumbles and purrs, but like essentially I'm kind of wondering if Alfred starts like kind of, talking to him like he's a person in the room, how the cat might respond. And that's a GM question, I suppose.
I'm
You
not
would know if
entirely.
it's not a thing, but
I don't think it's a thing, and the cat is not too bright.
Obvious.
True. I think at some point.
On Ambrose. Oof.
Now-
I think that Alfred should be allowed to talk to Leighton's cat, just like as a thing.
Yeah, no, you're allowed to talk to Leighton's cat. I seem to
Yeah, like
remember at
converse.
some point me and Terris talking about it and saying that Ambrose would probably be a orange cat if he had fur.
Yeah, I think
Okay, that
that's
explains
about
things.
right.
So
Well, basically, either way, he'll talk to the cat as
Yeah.
like he's, a person, and just goes, like, "Oh, you're a little bit chilly there, old man." Yes, and if I'll let you, Ardana, decide if you think that his languages and his communication would affect that in any way.
I don't think it would. Although there, with all that shit that the poor cat has been through previous experiences, probably not too spooked by you. Just, oh hi, new person. Ooh, scritchies. But it doesn't reply back. It's regular
Well,
cat.
he would expect it not to, based on
Yeah.
what you've just said. So that's fine. Over at the table, I'll simply go, well, I suppose the spiel part. Well, I've done a series of papers. I've been interested in the Vaesen for some time. I met one or two, and I suppose I'm sort of working on, for lack of a better word, a sort of universal dictionary, I suppose might be the best term. Communication, I find, is somewhat difficult, and obviously there's a tiny bit of miscommunication in most parts when it comes to that sort of thing. I suppose you could call me an anthropologist, but doesn't quite fit the Vaesen term. I'm not quite familiar with the scientific terms and the Latin and such, but the idea is essentially to try and get us all to understand each other to some degree. And I figured if you folks are already in that sort of business of trying to calm things down, then I could learn a lot and perhaps be of use. Well,
I've just been
politics,
killing them.
Perhaps a cryptologist?
Killing?
Cryptozoologist?
Only the ones that try to kill us.
Ah,
Was that?
shame.
Do
Of course,
you mind?
Self-defense is one thing, yes?
And Anka's pulled out a little notebook which she's opened up and got her pencil or pen out. And she's like, "Do you mind if I ask what Vaesen have you had contact with? Oh, and did you bring any copies of your papers?"
So, I am not entirely sure as Jack what might constitute a Vaesen, but I think we can hand wave that part, and I can get back to you. But he'll list some.
Yeah, you can rattle a few off, and I'll.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't
And
want
did you
to. I
bring
don't want to
copies of
break any
your-
law.
No, so
Did you bring copies of your papers?
basically any folklore creature would be fitting, like werewolves, vampires, church grims. They've met a mermaid.
I was also going to say even like Vetir might make sense, especially
Yeah.
if you're looking at like
Common
communication and stuff, because Vetir are common, but also they're generally friendly and you can talk to them. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've had a
Giants.
few discussions with them. They're just little guys.
Yeah, that's pretty
We
cool.
love them.
Yes, well, yeah, all of that to say, but I hope I can be useful. I promise not to get too much in the way, or try to be a target in if you need to defend yourselves. I'm just here to learn.
You're
Happy
very
to-
welcome.
Oh,
You do become a target and
Targets
get yourself. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry,
walking
I don't
in,
believe I've had
walking in
the
through
pleasure.
walking in through the door behind Alfred is a strapping 6'2", 6'3"-ish tall man, bald, with quite a thick mustache. He is not very, but lower class dressed. In my head, I have Dredger from Sherlock Holmes, the Robert Downey Jr. And so he often wears a bowler hat, but today he is not, or not right now. His left shoulder has a few pigeon droppings on it. And his waistcoat, white shirt, rolled up sleeves, and he says, "Oh, if you are making yourself a target, you're only helping. So you're very welcome here."
This is my husband, Ansford.
And puts his hand out to shake.
I think yours would kind of envelop his tiny, little hands, and not little, but in comparison, he just goes.
It's yes, you're engulfed in a side of ham, sort of.
This is my husband Ansford. This is Alfred, a scholar of Vaesen, so to speak.
He writes on
languages study.
He's hoping to learn from us, which is delightful.
Oh, you've made a friend, darling. I'm glad. Well, welcome.
Do you want to learn how to shoot?
I can in a pinch. Generally speaking, I'm reminded of a situation where quite a few. I was in a bad part of a Slavic country, and they sort of surrounded me as I was by the bar, and of course I could have gotten into fisticuffs and the like. I was a younger man then, but instead, as I was ordering, I'm like, I'll have a pint, and I sort of felt their shadows behind me. These three big strapping lads, and I went 2, 3, 4 pints. We had a lovely conversation, and that's sort of the way I tried to live if I can. Obviously, self-defense is self-defense. I'll just, I don't think I'll be partaking in that, but I promise try not to get in the way of said bullets.
Excellent.
Sometimes you will learn. Sometimes the self-defense is important, but we will, of course, try to.
Do not misunderstand me. I don't plan to die.
I was making no assumptions about you one way or the other, my new friend. Simply that sometimes with Vaesen you don't have a choice, but we often try to find the choice.
You do.
If I will certainly not be a hindrance. I understand. Just like with people, there is a need sometimes. If someone attacks you, you need to stick to the quick, so to speak. But yes. Is this everyone?
Shooting lessons is Blender's offer of friendship, so you consider yourself lucky.
Oh.
I also don't.
As long as it's at targets, if it's all the same.
And what kind of targets?
Ideally, ones without a pulse.
The ones I will set up for you, and not my damn birds.
Oh. Victor!
That also.
I think...
Give me my gun back.
I do think at about this time, coming down the stairs from upstairs, you'd probably see. So, man, probably just under 6 foot tall, sort of quite lankily built, quite sort of skinny but wiry, dirty hands, sort of like long coat, long, like almost like marching boots. You can see what looks like a soldier's uniform that's probably been repaired a great many times. A beard that is uncharacteristically shortened. From its normal wild mess, but still very roughly, and his hair tied back with twine, sort of keeping it back out of his face, as I do think he walks past, and I think holding what looks like a rifle, will toss it to Blender as he walks past.
Throw it again, and I shoot you in the foot. And she's going to give him a quick kiss as he passes.
I think if he hears the call from the new person, he'll stop before quickly panning around to make sure he's not in direct view of any windows, and will then turn back and, You're new.
Oh, he was at the door.
Well,
What's your-
my name is Alfred. A pleasure.
Victor. And holds out a hand.
Oh, that's quite a grip. Good.
Up close, you can see he has bags under his eyes that look like permanent residents. And then, what do you do?
He writes on paper.
Yes, I would go out on a limb and say that perhaps nothing that would interest you, though I'm happy to talk at length. You seem like
What
a
do you
practical
know
man,
of
and I am.
avian Vaesen?
I've gone out of my way to study as much as I can, and I'll rattle off a bunch of factoids that might surprise you how much I know. Like, as long as it's on paper somewhere, chances are I probably know it.
I think he's like
If it flies,
listening
you've got his attention.
extremely intently to everything that Alfred is saying. Before, is this your specialty?
Not so much. I wouldn't say I have a specialty so much as a passion for understanding and communication. I believe that there is something to be learned in the Vaesen and the old ways, and I think if we're going to move forward as rapidly as we are, that it is important to not forget, and that is what I'm trying to put forward in my papers. And the problem is, I've reached the limits thus far of my educational research. That I cannot proceed any further on theory alone, which is why I'm here. So I am happy to say I am almost certainly quite ignorant in comparison to you.
Well, I think you're going to love the library.
I doubt it will stay that way for long. You seem clever. You'll do well here. And he, I think he does actually smile a small amount before, I think, with little to no extra warning, just exiting the conversation in the direction of the kitchen.
He respects you very much.
Shooting birds works up an appetite.
I am gathering that. I can see the shared commonality between the two of you. It is lovely to see. We've got two couples in a singular team. I suppose I should give a what's the word I'm looking for?
You can congratulate me on the beauty of my wife if you like.
I was going to say to Leighton, do not worry, I'm not so inclined.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Reassurance.
Although the lack of symmetry is somewhat bothersome. I will happily compliment you on the beauty of your wife. That is evident, particularly the hat.
Completely unnecessary, but the hat, yes. Also, I think Ambrose would look in askance at that later.
What?
So as far as where I'm happy to take up if I'm welcome here, I'll take up residence wherever is most convenient, and if I am free to roam or ask questions, obviously I will need written permission for it to be peer reviewed, but as long as that is acceptable.
You can have one of the many spare bedrooms. There's many
There's
decorated
many.
as you
That
wish.
makes sense. Yes.
Oh God,
Was this
This
castle
one,
originally designed?
he is
for?
allowed to stay.
So, the castle itself was originally designed as a residence for some rich person. I don't remember who originally built the castle, but
That's right.
it was a residence for nobles, and then the society, as they call themselves, took over when the original owners didn't live there anymore, and then society kind of petered out. People getting killed, people getting admitted to asylums, or just stopped. And the castle fell into disrepair, which is why it looks the way it does right now.
Joshua was
process
asking a
at this
question
point.
to Hoomst.
I was asking Algot, the butler.
Yep.
Yes.
My understanding is if you have the site, then you're welcome. I think that's the charter of the place.
Yes.
So I don't think we actually have the right to kick you out.
I mean, I can if you want, but
I have no
I'd rather-
inclination
You
to.
just got
I'd
to.
rather walk if it's all the same. If I
Well,
to be.
Oh no,
Or you could just
anyone,
stay.
anyone with the sight that proves themselves to be trustworthy can stay. The general idea of the society is that you start as trustworthy, and it only goes down from there.
Distrust is earned. I understand. I was
Yes.
like, there's not any initiation ritual, is there? 'Cause,
Oh,
it's
no,
been-
Oh no, there's that.
I've
Of
had to
course.
enter that sort of thing in college.
Ansfred does have a bird that you could shoot.
Hey,
I got
And she's just gonna smile at you a little bit.
Having
That
emerged
leads me
from
to
the
next
kitchen.
sticky wicket of sorts. I did bring my own food, but I am a vegetarian. I hope that isn't an issue for everyone. I promise I won't be making a big deal out of any of that, but as a
morally I'm opposed to it, but that's all your own business.
Many of us here had to eat worse things than a veggie burger.
quite.
fine.
Yes, I'm fine with it.
I understand we all come from an area where slow meat is the way, but the more I learn, I have trouble in my older age eating anything that I imagine has a mother.
Very
What if I
fair.
shoot the mother?
Quite fair.
If you give your preferences to the house matron, she will make sure you are fed accordingly.
Oh, very good. I'm somewhat adept hand at cooking as well, so I have no issue with the smell and such. So, if the matron of the house is happy for me to at least be a dog's body to her, that would be quite pleasant as well. I'm always interested in learning new recipes. It's amazing what you can. And he's going to rattle off about like
Okay.
salt.
As you rattle off,
Incredible.
you see
I love him.
the butler just trying to be a little bit sneaky about it, but not like is pulling out a pocket watch, looking at it really quick and just right. And after a few minutes, just I hate to
No,
be.
I do think I would pick up after the first minute or so.
Yeah.
It's not my first time lecturing to an uninterested audience. I
No, it's
Brenda's
more.
cleaning her gun.
So the butler will just say, I hope that our new arrival will be taken care of by the rest of you good gentle folk, but I do have someone I need to pick up from the station. So if you
Oh.
please
should have sent a letter after all. It wasn't easy getting here. Oh well.
Well,
What's
What's his name again?
find
the butler's name is Algot.
Algot, if you wouldn't mind taking Mortis out with you, he'd get you down the station quicker, I believe.
That would actually be. Thank you for the offer, Master Leighton. I shall. If you don't mind me asking, is Mortis trained to pull a carriage or a cart?
Can a small, not a heavy one, but he can pull a cart. He's very amenable to most work, so long as it's not too strenuous.
Then I
Technically
shall.
weak horse.
I shall gladly accept the offer. I was going to pull the cart myself.
Ugh.
Oh, goodness. No.
Like a rickshaw? I've heard they do that in certain countries.
I'm afraid I do not know what this rickshaw is, but yes, I do.
Well,
If
you're
that is
essentially doing it, you're just missing the conical hat.
understandable.
Damn it, Zach.
Now, please, if you excuse me, I am.
It's exactly your humor.
If you excuse me, gentlefolk, Master Legion's tea is in the library, and there is some more hot water being prepared in the kitchen. Should you need a refill?
And I think I can hard cut us to the present. Sorry, Terris?
Mhm.
That's fine.
Happy
that
to hard
Alfred
cut
has
us to
been-
the present by turning to Alfred and saying, Alfred, would you like to help bury your body?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
I'll show you. And
What am I being shown?
Oh,
yeah, sorry, I kind of stumbled
body?
over my words. I
Graveyard.
said, Alfred, would you like to help bury a body?
Barry,
I stumbled over it.
I will
Yes.
happily observe. What are we? What? Why do we? Is this the initiation?
No.
Uh,
And she's gonna walk out of the room.
I'll explain if
Alternatively, you
like.
can come upstairs to the library with me and have a cup of tea. Do you have a preference on teas, by the way? I have a fine collection.
I generally green. Caffeine tends to too much caffeine tends to mean that I'm up at various hours of the night with my bladder seems to have shrunk over the years. So
Yes.
A shout from the hallway. You'll be up at various hours anyway with Victor screaming.
You will.
He has
I
night
do have
terrors.
Very peaceful
some chamomile.
place. Yeah.
all right. I think he will probably take the tea and for the sake of brevity probably do a this isn't his first library, so I think he'd probably go like if he's allowed to, he'll probably go that looks good and that looks good, and like he'll just set it up as like sort of like a favorites list on a table so he can come back to it later
yeah,
as he starts wandering around.
absolutely. So maybe, well, with the help of the horse, maybe a half an hour later, you hear the lodge doors open for a brief moment and then close again. And then I think did Ansfrid, did you go to the library or did you go to?
I'm burying a body.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we went to
sorry.
the
Yeah,
library.
Blenda and Ansfrid are burying a body.
Oh
He-
yeah,
He was a
Victor
very
is in the
bad man.
library.
Yeah, Victor's in the library.
And Annika is, I think. I think it's me and Annika are with Alfred, and also
And
Lee.
Leighton.
Leighton's
Yeah.
drinking
Okay,
tea,
so for the ones in the library, you hear the door open slightly, and then Algot comes in to the library, and on his arm you see a rather short individual.
On
Sco-
or like
like
arm in arm,
arm in arm.
not standing like a parrot.
No, no,
Okay,
no.
right.
Just arm in arm. He's holding his arm
no,
out,
a harpy.
and a
Victor shits his pants.
he's holding his arm out, and resting on top of his arm is a hand and arm in fine white gloves. And next to him stands a hunched over figure, like a shawl over her head, and wrinkled face, and he's quickly leading this woman over to one of the armchairs next to the fireplace, lets her sit down, and
Ethan will stand and vacate his seat for her and pour
Yep.
her a cup of tea.
she gladly looks
Hello?
up, and you, I think, yeah, you have everyone except Alfred has met this woman before. This is Linnea Elveclint, the woman the
shit.
fairy is named after.
Mm.
And she sits
The
down.
one who was mad?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
It seems she's gotten better.
I
Wow.
got better.
Well enough to be released to her own devices.
That's rare in this day and age. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good for her.
So proud.
And she sits.
Madonna, one question.
Yes.
Do we still have that maid that we collected last session?
Yeah, she would have also
Yeah.
arrived at some point during these past
Oh,
few
yeah.
months.
Excellent.
Oh yeah.
We
yeah.
killed her boss.
Yeah. I was like, I thought she was running our business. Oh no, that's a different guy.
Yeah. You also would have a lot of resources from the mines.
He's up and running now.
Yeah.
that
quarry.
sort of thing.
The quarry.
Especially
The quarry,
if
yeah.
it's- Yeah. If it's I'm trying to think.
We own a quarry.
Actually, yeah, just for Jack's reference, out of character for a
You're
second.
saying you're saying a lot of things that I'm just like, yep.
Yeah,
I
so
agree.
Is that
effectively
quiet for anyone
now-
else?
No.
Might need
Um,
to turn him up. Yeah.
I'm deaf.
Sorry.
It's all good. But yeah, the couple things to sort of explain what we're talking about from previous sessions. So a few sessions ago, we killed a Vaesen that was taking the form of a person who was acting as the I don't remember the exact word for it, but it's like the foreman or whoever's in charge of a quarry. And we
foreman.
instated somebody else in their place, and they're now sending a percentage of their profits to us, so we're making money from them, which is great. And the other one was in our last adventure, we killed again some Vaesen who were kind of responsible for a bunch of human sacrifices that were happening on this island where people were going missing. And when it was revealed that that was what was going on, one of the maids who worked for said family of some humans and some Vaesen basically went, screw this, and decided to come work for us instead. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, she
she's.
could now see Vaesen as well. I think
Yeah.
she'd gotten the
Oh,
sight.
yeah, she
yeah,
can
we
because
traumatized her.
We traumatized her
we
to the point
did.
where
So
Look.
she has the sight
See?
now.
Yeah,
She
So yeah,
got
so basically,
traumatized. I don't like we traumatized her.
No,
So
killed
long
her
story
boss in
short-
front
Yeah,
of
you
her.
know.
Yeah, we
Hey,
have
look.
gone through our last few adventures and wound up that the people who we helped have decided to help us in some ways. One of them decided
Cool.
to come become our maid, and one of them is now the head of a quarry, and they're sending some of their profits to us, so we get some money from them.
Amazing. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I just got to quickly deal with something. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Sorry,
Okay.
what was this lady's name again? I'm having a blank.
It's Linnea, right?
The old lady is named Linnea. The maid is named Laura.
Oh, that's right.
And yeah, she works at the castle as well.
Laura's just here. She's
Yeah, she
It's
basically.
Linnea that's the important one.
So Laura is the one responsible for keeping the fires going in your fireplaces, keeping the castle clean, as
Yep. We love
clean
Laura.
as possible.
She's currently cleaning up a bunch of feathers
Yeah.
how dare you.
again.
So at this castle,
I like to think
I
that
will
pigeon's
say
just
that
immortal.
is not my fault. Because I shot the bird, it was the cat that brought it inside. I'm just saying.
Oh, look.
Yeah,
probably
but he's still
wasn't
trying to
Enoch.
get it out of his mouth.
no.
Oh, no,
wouldn't have
and to
been
be clear-
Enoch. Enoch rarely leaves my shoulder.
No, yeah, I was gonna say I would not have shot Ansfred's bird. As much as I distrust all birds, I make an exception for Ansfred. This was just
He knows
happened to
on
be
thin
another
fucking
pigeon
ice.
that was unfortunate enough to be in front of a window at the same time I was in front of a window with a gun. So
Yeah.
Why did you have? No, I like to think that you went and got my gun.
oh, you
Came
know,
back,
I was
the pigeon
in.
was still there.
I was fully. I think Victor was fully in your room, spending time with Fluffy.
I love the
Yeah.
fact that that implies that Victor and Blender have separate rooms.
Well, yeah, he has his little room on the ground floor that has no windows.
That's not a room. That's just a little cave that you made.
That's where
He
he
lives
sleeps, though.
Yeah.
And he was spending some time with Fluffy, and he saw the bird. And you keep your gun in your room; it's literally right
On
there.
the ground
so-
floor is where he spends most of his days, relaxing and chilling. And
Hiding.
Indeed.
you can tell I've seen
Yep.
Fresh Prince recently.
Yeah.
I have not.
Your current affairs. Once Liana's kind of settled in a chair with a cup of tea, Annika would kind of ask, what do we have the pleasure of your company?
Should we wait for Jack?
Yeah.
Just a thought.
He hasn't met her.
Oh, good if not. True.
Yeah, no,
I say that
Alfred.
as if
there.
Victor. I say that as if Blender and Ansford are even in the room. We chill.
Yeah,
All right.
you carry on.
Why are you burying a corpse? Do we know?
Mm.
I reckon this was either the guy we were sent to hunt down or our Mark. Either he was in some way related to our last case.
Just some
He might
dude
have
we
been our
found.
last case. He was a problem. He's not anymore.
Cool.
I feel
This
like
is not a nice
yeah,
guy. This is a bad
This was-
person.
This was, I'm going to say it was a thieving situation. I think it was a bit of corporate corruption. I want to say a town planning issue. And the guy tried violence as the solution, and it was not.
Yeah.
Well, it was,
for
but not the way
Blender.
he wanted it.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd
Would we
say
have
that.
used allies?
Well,
Or is
as
this an Annika Ansford thing?
as you keep repairing the castle and bringing it back to its former glory, you are going to run into more and more problems with people either wanting the society gone for their reasons, or they're wanting the castle, or they want you to pay more taxes, or they want to find out what the hell you're actually doing up here, as the castle is coming back to what it used to be, it's gonna draw attention to you.
Yeah.
We
And
need snipers.
Tax evasion is an obligation. I will not be paying anything.
yeah.
No, he has a
So yes.
Whereas Annika counts her tax contributions down to the penny or the cent or whatever the currency
Yeah.
is
Well,
right now.
That's a business
Fair
thing,
enough.
and we're separate to that. Yeah.
All right.
The IRS guy comes to the door and gets his head blown smooth off.
Which would then attract the police, which was then
Who then get their heads
Which is
blown
why we're
smooth
burying a
off.
body.
yes. Hi.
So we got
Liana,
there.
what-
It's an
what-
it's
what
an
do we have the
IRS
pleasure
agent.
of your
Very
company?
good.
Well, I understand that it's a little bit well, it doesn't apply to general politeness to just show up like this after not being of aid these many months. I see that you've turned the old girl back to something of what it was like when I lived here.
Certainly trying.
Along.
Oh,
Along.
I didn't hear a word you said, Terris.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, he's just. Oh, it's coming
Yeah.
along. Yes.
Ah, yes. Well, it's. I'm just gonna cut to it. I got a letter from an old friend of mine who used to be part of our group here at the society. She then branched off started doing her own thing. She
Hmm.
I really hate to see it, but or I hate to say it, but her ideals didn't really match ours when it comes to a lot of things, and she decided to create her own group, which is her prerogative. But now, I did receive a letter from her, asking for my help or the society's help. It seems that some of her group are having problems where they have set up recently.
What kind of problems are we talking about?
It seems. Oh, you know what? I have the letter here somewhere. Give me a few seconds. Where did I put the letter in? I didn't copy it. Okay, it's fine. Let me grab you the letter real quick. And I'm gonna send
Ansfrid's
it.
not here, so I'll be back in just a sec.
Okay. I'm gonna post that to your chat.
Oh.
And she
a letter.
digs around a little bit in a pocket and hands a tightly folded, rather plain-looking letter over, like holding it out to anyone. If someone would feel I can read it out for you, but if you want to read it yourselves.
Gwenda's not
If
here,
Annika's-
so-
If Annika's close enough, she'll happily take the letter and peruse it.
Yep, absolutely. I sent it to the Vaesen chat, but
Yep.
Let me find it. Oops.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, here we go.
Yeah.
Little Lily, you barely remember me, do you? The years have fluttered by like butterflies, and I shall soon turn 70. But who is counting? I wish the purpose of this letter was to renew our special connection, which I have missed dearly, and that I would like to see you to discuss the strange events that occurred at Gillenkreuz so many years ago.
yeah.
Gillenkreuz?
Gyllenkreuz.
Gillenkreuz so many years ago. And though this is also true, I write to you regarding another matter. Lily, I need your help. The situation is very dire indeed, or I would not have had the nerve to contact you. I assume you are still living in Uppsala. Surely you have not abandoned the beloved city. Anyway, I'm currently located in Mole? Mule?
Molly.
Yeah, close enough. It's Mölle, but it's kind of hard to.
Mule.
Mele.
A
Mule.
small fishing village in the south. My friends and I are staying at the Mule Seaside Hotel. You must come and help us, Lily. I can tell you no more than that for fear that someone else might read this letter. That it must be you of all people to do with our special secret, our way of seeing things, which brought us together all those years ago. Bring all the weapons, tools, and strange items you can find. Anything might prove useful. Until then, my friends and I are stuck at the hotel. This is a mess of our own making, but nevertheless, despite everything, I ask for your help. Love, your hopefully dearest Olga. Olga?
I'll go.
Olga.
Yeah.
Enormous fan of, for fear that somebody else might read this letter, reads Annika, not the intended recipient of the letter.
I have
I'm sure it's
consent.
fine.
Goodness. Any idea what she might be referring to? Like, I can make my own assumptions, but seem to know her better than me.
I'm not really at liberty to discuss too much. We did some youthful experimentations here at the castle, if you would.
Right.
Yeah.
But
But
brow at that.
As far as I can remember, where she's currently located has a history of all manner of strange activity. And I do believe that's why she brought her little group of friends there. If they're in danger, there are a number of stories about Vaesen and men, as in humans, finding all
Nice.
manner of actually quite downright scandalous things to occupy themselves with. From
When you say scandalous, could you be more specific? Not
Well-
to be indelicate.
the area itself, if my memory serves, which probably not, the region is filled with all manner of strange energies, and as the society, we would go there and investigate and leave it be. Olga and her little group would probably go there and try to waken something.
Right.
As part of the schism between the society and her group all those many years ago.
Right. So one assumes that you... Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Oh,
Lisa,
Leighton's
what was
just
that?
muttering that. Sorry, I'll just move my microphone a little bit. There we go. Leighton was just muttering that often things better left alone.
Hmm.
Not
One
interfered with.
One assumes that by bringing this to us, you are hoping we will go to Mule?
The place.
Mule?
Mole.
More li-
You're hoping us to go to Mille and investigate this matter?
That was my hope. I am unfortunately far too old and frail, as much as it pains me to say so, to go myself. But I am willing to fund any expedition to go and help my friend.
Very generous of you. Well, I don't have anything pressing on my plate, she says, in her mind, picturing it like
Looking out the
Ansfred
window.
busy digging the corpse, like it's like they're filling in the hole,
Now.
patting it down. It looks like they're nearly done with the body.
Blender's hitting like something with the flat of a shovel. You see her turn to answer it and just, it moved.
They do that sometimes up to 3 or 4 days after.
I don't like it.
Well, I suppose we better get the others in and discuss how best to go about this. And Annika will like turn around to Alfred and be like, Alfred, surprisingly, this is more or less how the way these start. So, if you have any questions, feel free to jump in. Oh, Liana, Alfred, you
Hello.
you remember?
Alfred Anderson. Pleasure.
Linnea
well-
Elveclint. Pleasure, I'm sure.
Pleasure. I suppose we don't have a lot to go off in terms of what is causing said problems. Is there anything that you could tell us in terms of what we might be dealing with here? I heard something about energies. I
In
understand if
particular
it's
kind of-
somewhat private, you don't have to go into detail about anything that is to yourselves, but since we are walking somewhat blind, you can imagine any knowledge is an advantage.
Ooh, nice. Uh, if this old woman's mind and memory serves her, there is one. Let me see. The region is mostly volcanic rock around this area. Long before our current timeline, there are rumors that this part of our great nation was underwater and was raised by a volcano erupting. There is, because of this, still some activity, and from what I could find years ago, one of our own, a member of the society, found rumors of something called a hill man that was kept in check by the lighthouse keepers. And she lifts a shaking hand and starts looking over the bookshelves real quick, and over there somewhere should be his record of.
Could I try to recall what a hillman is with a learning test? Is that what that is for, learning?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So roll
and-
d6. A number of d6s equals to the dots you have in learning. Plus, let's see. So it's learning plus.
Logic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's your learning dice plus your logic dice.
Okay, so I also have bookworm, so that means, let me count correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 more.
Yep. So
Yeah.
12 dice.
it's a pretty
Good
easy
number.
check.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Nice.
It's pretty nuts.
Okay. 3 successes.
Nice. Okay, you needed one, so you can bank 2 of them if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Bank.
Yeah. So when you bank
Solid
successes, you can use them later for another check
Makes
that
sense
you
to
have
me.
Yep. failed.
Yep, let's do that.
So
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Alfred's thing.
yeah. Okay, so
I hope so. If it wasn't, he's broken as fuck.
This is like when he's like, oh yeah. When it comes to combat, yeah, he's going to run. Yeah,
Okay,
No,
so
this keeps the party very
You and
balanced.
Victor both.
nothing physical.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah. Continue.
all right. So what you can remember from your studies, the Hillman is basically a myth from this region that deals with the lighthouse keepers. And during your studies at the Vaesen, you have heard of this region before, and a lot of what this Linnea is telling the others, you vaguely recall that, oh yeah, she's on the right track here. The Hillman normally refers to the first lighthouse keeper in this region. And there are rumors in certain circles that they have some form of power to control the land or the landscape around the lighthouse.
So, sorry, I got a little distracted there. So the lighthouse keepers have power, or they're connected to the lighthouse keepers in some way?
The myth of the Hillman is that the first lighthouse keeper here had powers to control the landscape around the lighthouse.
Okay. Yep.
Uh,
And that's what I assume the Hillman might be. This first lighthouse keeper is the idea.
Yeah. So the
Okay. Or
The
his
root-
descendants or something.
yeah. So his descendants or himself is what the myth of the Hillman is based on.
And when you say power over the land, what do you mean?
Like manipulate it, like raise hills up and stuff.
There was
Lots of volcanic area, so
yeah.
That was my logic. Yeah.
So the myths themselves say that they had the power to cause localized earthquakes if
Yeah.
necessary, or shift the coastline slightly. Not in any like huge way, but they could cause landslides right at the coastline if necessary, or
That makes sense.
shift things.
Do we get newspapers delivered here, friends? Out of interest.
Actually,
We normally keep up to date.
Yep,
I
I do
assume
think.
it's Fred and
feel
Blender
like
walk
we
into the
should
room around then.
have a look at any reports on earthquakes or landslides coming from that area.
Noted.
That's
I like to
okay,
think
then.
that Annika has stuck her head out the window and been like, "You done with the little job yet?"
Gardening, yeah.
He's buried, yes.
The potatoes are all planted.
Excellent.
the body.
We've got
and-
a
And he, yeah,
visit.
Unsfred absolutely has planted potatoes on top.
And Blender walks into the room like, excellent fertilizer.
I don't dig a hole for no reason.
Efficient. Corpse potatoes.
Even in November.
Good metal band.
Linnea, what a pleasure to see you again.
We are corpse potato.
And Fred, was it? Yes,
It
pleasure.
was.
Pleasure.
You're
hello.
looking well and most certainly sane.
How-
Jesus.
Sane enough to leave that horrid place, at least.
I
Congratulations.
don't think you need to be sane to do that. I never trust the really sane ones. But then you look at who I associate with. You came with
offended,
a.
Alfred?
Only if you want to be.
Huh?
Not particularly.
Can I try and find this book that Linnea referenced?
Absolutely.
About-
What is it we are talking about? Huge men?
Hillman.
Hillmen.
see.
Anything like a giant? We're not
to
talking a
my
man the size of a
understanding,
hill.
Of course, perhaps the big feet affect the earthquakes. We're figuring that out. People who can, people who can affect the land, supposedly.
Hey, Adana.
Yes.
I wouldn't know anything about this, would I? Because of my backstory. I wouldn't have run into anything relating to this. It's a maybe at best, but
You could give me a learning check.
unlike Jack, my learning is not great.
Yes, but I'm sure you can defend yourself if you get attacked. So there's that.
I am the one melee character in this entire group.
He tackled a bird to the ground.
We will
did.
have different. We will have different strengths in different parts of the game. I'll be hiding. behind you.
So I'm logic and learning. That's a total of 4 dice. So
Also,
no-
Josh,
Yeah.
Blender does have close combat skills as well.
Oh, okay. I mean, we all can.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say,
Uh,
like, yeah, I think both of us are relatively like okay at it, but Josh is the only one who's got like a real focus in it.
You can just give people hot
Oh,
chocolate.
no, I do have
Come
toughness
here, I'll
nails.
give you a good stock ratio.
I'm straight up. It's a 7. It's not fantastic. It's just kind of I'm better at it than most. I got 3. I rolled 4 dice and I got a pair of 5s. That's the best.
Okay.
Oh no.
No.
No. That's fine. Thank you.
Have I found the book?
Mm,
Do I need to
Never,
go for that one?
never encountered these myself.
investigation or learning? Probably investigation to find the specific book.
Investigation.
Can I help?
If you want to, yeah.
Which gives her an extra dice, right? If
Yep.
I assist.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll listen.
Hang on, sorry, my brain. It's logic 3. Plus 5, so that's 9 dice. This is what I'm good at. And it's D6s, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do I have enough?
You
2,
need
4,
6s.
2, 4, 5. That's 5. And that's 1 success already. And then 5, and then I have to roll 4 more.
Mm-hmm.
2 successes.
All right. Takes a few minutes, but you manage to locate a collection of shorter notes more than anything. And nope, that's not it. There you are. And you there we go. And looking through this collection of various desperate notes, you do find one. Let me grab that for you.
Karen, your hat is getting so much love in chat.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Ooh, here we go.
Danny can keep his eyes on, but hands off my wife. But everybody else, you know.
This is specific.
It's just
Yeah.
the hat.
Targeted.
This is the occult heritage of the hill. Comprehensive studies of the region have unearthed a folktale regarding the genesis of the mountain itself, where farmers and fishermen believe the hill is the creation of, and thoroughly imbued with supernatural energy. Supposedly, these forces caused the ground to rise from the flat clay like volcanic rock from the sea. It is said there are caves and ravines where supernatural energies dwell, waiting for humans and animals as vessels for their manifestation in the world. Also said that a family blessed with the site has watched over the hill for centuries to prevent its energies from taking physical form and indulging in all sorts of urges. My personal studies failed to locate the family in question on which the myth of the so-called hillman is based, or any form of Vaesen, but did, however, identify strong tendencies towards the sublime and abstract, and a strain and aptitude for seeing the unseen, creating the uncreated. It seems to me that this part of the South should be strictly monitored. Perhaps a smaller headquarters should be established in the area. Intriguing.
Was this written by the lady who sent us the letter?
No.
Or sent
No,
the
this
letter?
is a member and
Brother
first
something.
equivalenter of the society, Brother Johann Trana.
Yes.
I don't like
He
it.
wrote quite a bit of poetry in his time too.
There was a letter, yes. May I peruse?
Yeah, I'll happily
He
hand
checks
it
in
over
with
to you.
Linnea. Ansfred, it may surprise Alfred to discover Ansfred can read. Like, he doesn't look like the sort of person who can.
To be fair, that
And he
might
doesn't look
be
like he's
more-
doing
yeah.
it slowly.
It would probably
But,
also surprise you to see Blender reading it over his shoulder quite quickly.
Yeah.
I guess surprise wouldn't be the emotion on his face so much as delight. He's
Yeah.
just like, God. Yeah.
I can read.
Blender will tell you
They
that she
can
cannot.
talk.
That's right, fool.
That's right, fool. I'm a flying,
Well-
talking Swede.
You might say that.
So,
Gotten 10
Ansfred
victories
does
as
say
well.
after probably about what?
Sorry, I just said.
Can Victor read?
Can Victor also read?
think we all
Victor can
can.
read. I think that Victor is actually probably a little bit slow with reading because I think he's intelligent and fairly well educated, but he hasn't spent enough time over the years getting used to reading to do it quickly.
I also like to think Blender reads to him a lot.
Probably.
Aw.
I think he's good
Adorable.
at he's good at conversing, and I think he's good at like picking
Yeah.
up on stuff quickly, but reading fast is not his strong suit. And so if he ever does read, like when I was doing research in the first couple of things alongside Annika would have been flying through books looking for things, and Victor would have been like, pick up one, very slowly scan one page, then slowly scan the next, then flip it over, and kind of he would have been moving at a much slower pace.
So Ansfred does read it, but it does take him a minute. He's not the quickest. He's self-taught in a lot of ways, and if not self-taught, then it's Annika taught. And he says, this, and you'll forgive me, Linnea, but it does sound a little like a trap.
That is my fear as well.
So you
Either-
send us-
It is
Bring
re-
all the most valuable and useful things, please, to us, where we are.
Yes.
Yes, hello, fellow kids. I figured out the best place to play is the giant pillar of wasp eggs. Come quickly, do not bring weapons.
Yes.
Uh,
Except bring all your valuables, all your pocket money.
that is partly my fear. Olga, while
don't
being
want to-
a nice enough individual, even during the break with the society,
Glowing review.
was well, her particular inclinations did not work well within the society, and I wouldn't say it was an amicable break in any way, though she was a good
Sure.
friend. And I fear that even with the high potential of this being, as you put it, a trap, there is the small potential that it is not, and that she really does need help.
And
There
if
is
they
also
are...
a
Sorry, go ahead.
there is the third option, of course, that it is a trap and this Olga is already caught in it.
That is, yes,
Hmm.
also a possibility.
If
Was-
they are, in fact, summoning unnatural things, we should probably check that out as well.
I mean, it
Hmm.
doesn't mean we shouldn't go. It just means we need to have both eyes on
Wary.
the swivel when we do.
I think hearing that, Alfred will probably like massage his head, just kind of like naturally kind of like do that a little bit, and just like almost like a nervous tick hearing about like, you know, people that might be doing some shady shit or like, you know,
Mhm.
taking advantage of people,
Listen, we'll
and
pour
just
you
kind of
another
be
cup
a
of
little
tea.
bit distant as he's listening. He's clearly still listening. He's like doing, like, he's multitasking. He's writing and doing this, like, yeah.
If it
Pour
is
you
a
another
trap.
cup of tea.
Sorry, Terris?
Oh, sorry, my microphone is being a bitch. I just said Leighton will pour him another cup of tea if he looks any kind of stressed.
Lovely.
Thank you. Thank you.
If this is a trap, I assume we have full permission to, I suppose, shoot whoever set it, even if this is your friend. You don't have to do the shooting.
No, it's all right.
She likes to.
I knew what I signed up for when I packed my bags in.
You should learn to shoot too.
Does Olga have any propensities for violence?
Oh. Only with her words.
Right. So
She
she's not the
was-
sort to punch you.
No, though I do remember her tongue
I
being
bet
rather
she's-
caustic.
Acerbic.
Right.
Yes.
Acidic tongue, noted.
All of those words probably fit, yes. She's
Blender's
a nice
put
enough
the pieces
person.
together very quickly, and it's just like,
She was a nice enough. Oh, she is. From what I remember, a nice enough individual, though she did not mince her words. For as
She
long
is
as I.
presumably. How closely in contact have you been in the last few years?
Oh,
Linnea, you should have been in the institution for a little while. Olga, did she know this? The letter reached you there.
no, the letter reached me at. Well, actually, the letter did reach me there, though it was forwarded to my new domicile. She.
Will you be returning to the castle?
No. No, my
Oh.
days in the society are behind me at this point. Though I don't live too far. Well, I live not too far from here. So
Oh, you live in town.
So
yes, I've decided to settle. I used some of my savings to buy a small house.
Excellent.
And
then
So-
afternoon visits are on the cards again. I am glad.
yes, absolutely. Though, as you probably have noticed, I am getting up in the years a little bit, which is why I
Well,
cannot.
Mortis always needs exercise.
Yes, was a very lovely horse, and it was nice to speak with Algot again. But to answer your question, this is the first missive I have received from Olga in 20 or so years now.
So she could be dead, and this could be a Vaesen taking her place.
That is a
Linda
Linda
possibility.
also does not mince words.
You see Linnea lift an eyebrow, and some of the crow's feet around her eyes just crinkle a little bit.
Hopefully not, but maybe.
What's
Or
the
she's
most
just
efficient way to.
desperate.
Or she's, yes, as Victor put it, desperate. Desperate enough to take a shot in the dark that her letter will reach you and that you'll be willing to assist her.
Well, my point was, if she didn't know that you were in an asylum, then it makes more sense. If she did know that you were, then it'll be a long shot.
Yes. Well, I was told the letter was sent to the where I was, and then forwarded to my new place of residence. So I assume that she
Okay.
somehow found out that where I was living for the past few years. Though I do not know how she would have found that out. She has her ways, I guess.
And that does sound desperate. If
Could
someone
I,
is committed to an
after
asylum,
doing
I
that
can't
learning
imagine.
test and
that,
everything else, sort of know if I were to go to an expedition to deal with this potential threat, what might be good equipment to go out and get? Because it seems like basically you've got a giant question mark when it comes to the victim of these things and what she's a victim to. That's a question we have to solve when we get there. But apart from looking at newspaper stuff and seeing how if earthquakes and the like have happened, I think that would be the next on Alfred's list, and he's probably started jotting down like ideas of useful things that could be used. Jack has no idea, but maybe stuff to like measure the earth and check things out, measure vibrations, things like
Bro
that.
has seismographs.
Maybe, yeah.
I actually
Just
have to check.
acidity.
Nice.
From your general knowledge, Alfred, I'd say most Vaesen do not like cold iron or silver.
I don't plan to hurt them, but yes, go on.
Yeah, but also most Vaesen need some form of ritual to get rid of them. You cannot just rock up with silver bullets and start shooting. That generally won't get rid of them. It will slow them down.
Trying though.
Does sometimes, but not always.
Yeah, it's Not always. Sometimes it does, but not always. Normally, cold iron or silver will slow them down or paralyze them for a moment, but you need to figure out their weakness to get rid of. And like from your research, I'd say that it generally has to do with how the ritual generally has to do with how the Vaesen came to be. That is their weakness.
Okay.
How far away is? Sorry, I'm going to butcher it every time I say it, and I feel so bad.
Well,
Mule,
you need to say it
Mole.
a different way every time.
Yes.
Molly. How
Thank
far
you.
away is Molly?
It's from your
It's a
knowledge,
running bit.
Uppsala is mid Sweden, and then you would have to go southwest across the country. So roughly a day.
A day? Okay.
Yeah, a day by train to get there.
It's not far away. That's something at least.
Perhaps something along the lines of being able to measure vibrations wouldn't be the worst idea if we can pick up something like that, and perhaps something that could help us navigate water if we are going to the coast.
Yeah.
In a pinch.
You
So
can't swim. And she has to
No,
spells at you.
no, I'm more referring to the deeper side of things.
okay.
You can't swim.
So this being the year 1890,
Big smile.
anyone with book learning or interest in such would know that the seismograph had been invented 15 years earlier.
There you go.
Nice.
Right.
So then that's probably what I'll suggest in spring for, and I'll underline it a bunch of times. And yeah, apart from that, like depending on the situation, I might just send a letter ahead, or like see if like I'll find like the 1890 Swedish version of the phone book and see if I can see if there's like some sort of diving belt situation if we need it, just in case that's what's happening. And he's just thinking, okay, if we go here we might this, if we go here we might need that, and he's just kind of going through the list. So if anything comes up, let me know. But yeah, that's what he'll get to work on.
Our suspicion is that this is not actually a Vaesen, but a person, a human, who has the sight and has the power to control this thing.
Maybe.
I suppose that will depend on what we find in the newspaper
suppose
articles
so.
of the past couple of weeks. If
Yeah.
there's been nothing, then...
So a diving bell would be cumbersome, but it was
I'm not
invented.
planning to take it with me.
I mean, the diving bell was first described in the 4th century before current era, so it exists. You can also
Submarines exist in this day and age.
yeah, exactly. A
Pretty
submarine,
terrifying, really.
yes, a submarine would be
Bicycle
way
powered ones
out
as
of
well.
your budget, but
Oh, yes.
Aw. But we
I
had
think
a
it's a problem
quarry.
for when we get there. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that he's like trying to organize it so that that's something we could get hands on, or speak to someone who might be able to do it, or maybe just someone who has a boat.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation.
Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
Alright,
unfortunately, all I have is a horse.
so
Only a horse.
All
right.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I'm gonna, if the newspapers are here, I'm gonna start looking through that to see if there's any reports of odd earthquakes and the like, and that's what I'll get to work doing before we go.
What do you mean that we can't own a fucking submarine? We own a quarry. Aren't those guys meant to be rich?
a submarine
We have
in
a
this
stake in the
age
quarry. Close.
would
There's
cost.
rich
But we're
and rich.
rich.
Yes, but
Oh,
We have a
there's
rich.
castle, not a submarine.
there's a
Like buying
difference.
spaceship.
There is a
We're
difference
like Queen
between.
Industries. We're not Bruce Wayne's company. We're like Oliver Queen's.
Yeah.
Like we got
Yeah.
some stuff.
Yeah,
We own a
I'd say-
castle.
I'd say using that that comparison, buying a submarine in the 1890s would put a dent in Bruce Wayne's fortune.
Wow. There you go.
How much would a diving bell
Also,
cost?
you could not pay me to get in an 1890s
Oh,
submarine.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely
fuck
things
not.
were
that.
Oh, no,
death
of course
traps.
not.
Like,
You couldn't pay me
Uh,
to get in a 2024 submarine.
certainly not an Australian
go
one.
in one
Those
of those.
things are also death traps.
Idiot.
Mhm.
Ardana,
Yes.
how much would a diving bell cost?
A diving bell would put a dent in your fortune.
How about a
Okay.
snorkel?
How much
yeah.
exactly?
Why don't I ask my mermaid friend?
True.
Uh,
Um,
I mean, you could probably
think we're-
construct one, but
cheaper than we could buy one for.
I start out with 6 resources, so
Can I have some ye olde plexiglass?
I really
to-
don't think
possibly
there's any need.
Could we possibly
yeah,
go
let's,
to
let's find out
Mooney
if we need it
and-
before we spend
and-
money on something that we might not need.
yes, of course.
There might be someone who lives there who already has one that we can bribe, borrow, or steal to use.
I trust
I'm just
one of
gonna
the
put
old
Buy or
gods man-
borrow,
monitoring this whole
perhaps?
story that whatever thing we need will be there when we get there.
The narrative requires a
if we
diving
need
bell.
something-
I'm sure we can, you
The
know.
story requires a submarine. I'm sure there'll be one in the near vicinity we could at least commandeer. In terms of
Ooh.
preparation to leave, as
subscribe.
we seem to have agreed to do so, I suppose the normal, silver bullets. I take my weekly trip down to the church to replenish my water bottles. Just because it worked one time, and you never know, it might come in clutch a second time.
Yep.
I made basically a holy hand grenade and inserted it into something.
Alfred, could you give me an investigation check for the newspapers?
I understand. Just a moment.
I think we're at an ad break right now, and I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how it works.
People are not who are not subscribed get an ad.
Yeah.
Ah,
I must be
I am
subscribed.
subscribed.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Oh, it does. I am.
If you are not subscribed when the ad break starts, it won't turn off when you
If-
subscribe. It just won't
if
start
it's-
again.
It turns out I use my
Yeah.
Twitch one.
If I'm reading a book, just because I'm looking at the core book, clarify if I'm mistaken. If I'm reading a book, is it not a learning test, or am I misreading that?
This is more like you're rifling through newspapers looking for specific, information. Learning is more recalling information you already know.
I understand. Okay then. Let's go. I'm still pretty good at investigation, so that's 2, 5, 7 dice. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And you have 2
unfortunately,
banked successes as well.
That's true. I will use 1 now,
Okay.
if I may.
Okay, that's 1 bank success then. Rifling through the stack of newspapers that have been accumulated in the library, you don't really find a whole lot. You find a few mentions of the earth shaking in that region, but it's years apart. However, how long ago would that have been? You do find one particular rather recent newspaper clipping or news thing that seems to catch your attention about the general region. Yes, it's in the
General region.
general region you're going to. An article from
Oh,
that
no, no.
region.
It's a stupid joke I do every time I hear general, major.
Yes,
General.
I mean I think
Major
about it.
general region. Thank you.
Give
I
him the
think-
proper-
4th star on his shoulder.
I mean, I think about a joke I
That's
made
not too
years
general.
ago. So, me and my partner were hunting something in Yggdrasil in a game, and we were looking for
Right.
gnome generals. And my partner was like, "So where are we going?" And I just saw one pop up right next to us. I'm like, "That general direction."
Well then. Well
I'm
then.
going to disconnect now.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Today's news, Tuesday, June 17th, 5
It's-
euro. I don't know what I'm
It's
reading now.
öre, but it's basically cents.
5 cents. Oh,
Mhm.
right. The sin in place that has been said with an N. For the past 2 years, the remote fishing village of Molle in the northwestern Skan has been torn by conflict over the hotel that is open in the area. Hotel, does that ring a bell? Tourists, mainly Danish and German, are encouraged to engage in mixed gender bathing at the beaches, something the locals are very much against. I see.
Goodness.
Our reporter
scandalous.
Elias Wagner has visited the so-called Heart of Sin in Northern Europe, a small community at the tip of the rocky area known as the Hill in the south of Sweden. Here in Molle, Katarina Jonsson runs a successful seaside hotel frequented by tourists from far away. Katarina tells us, here on the hill, Europe's cultural and intellectual elite meet for refreshing baths and relaxing walks in a spectacular landscape. My business is about to lead Molle into the next century. Many local representatives have less positive views of the hotel, especially Katarina's decision to let women and men frequent the same beaches at the same time. I think he will raise his eyebrows and blush a little, but he's just like, if I were a younger man, perhaps. Chaplain Algot Kransvik describes it as a very unfortunate and ill-advised project that is causing strife and promoting sinful lifestyles. While the fisherman's wife, Anna Svensson, says she is forced to see gentlemen in suspenders and ladies in corsets, which is a sad reminder of our mortality. I suppose with whalebone, what does that mean? In any case, your dear reporter, Elias, is enjoying a cold bath in the crisp waters of the North Sea, and the view on the hill is spectacular indeed. Well,
Is that because of the
okay.
ladies in corsets, or in spite of?
Yes.
I get the feeling that it improves the view somewhat.
The Heart of Sin.
Whichever way one might be inclined, there the
I have
landscape
to
becomes
agree,
prettier.
but
Well,
depending
I
on where
think
you
we should
look.
go.
I
Can't
was
miss a place
against
called
it
the Heart
before,
of
but
Sin.
you've worked me around.
With what
I think I've heard terms about
Tell you when
outlawing
you're
of
older.
whaling, so I might avoid going in the swimsuit just in case. But yes.
Blender's gonna smack him with a rolled up newspaper.
Given it's November, would it still be warm enough to swim?
I'm
No.
going to.
Well,
I'm going
Depends how
to.
long you've spent in the sauna beforehand.
exactly.
Blender's
wouldn't-
gonna
A
swim.
bath is only half wet. The other half is when you're in a very hot room with a heater and a lot of other naked people.
Handle.
Blender's gonna swim.
All right then.
She's really tough and cool.
I've sauned in Sweden in late September. I think it was the latest I ever did.
Mhm. Early May.
While
Oof, okay.
while
Don't
everything
take a-
else is happening, I suppose, and we're getting things ready, unless there's other big moments, I'll probably go up to sorry, I'm trying to find the names. To Victor
One of those.
and simply say, I don't quite know how to put this. You're the big one, our compatriot.
Ansfrid.
He's somewhat put the fear of God in me a little bit as far as potential threats. I know I might seem a little lost when it comes to combat and such. But if it's all the same, I don't plan to use it. And to be quite frank, I'll probably keep it in a bag. Otherwise, I might shoot myself in the foot. But I'd rather not go undefended, if that's amenable.
Absolutely. I'll take you to the armory. We'll get you a few silver bullets just in case. And not being one inclined towards fighting is not a bad thing. It would be better if more of the world was
Oi!
like you.
And the newspaper now comes from Victor's head.
I think it is just like a what is it like? I think he still cops it, but like I think you see him just kind of with like even if he is turned away from her, kind of brace as it's about to happen. This is clearly not the first time.
Yeah.
But then we'll.
I all the same. I think I'd rather let violence happen. I have a lot to learn and a lot to live for.
Absolutely.
You won't live long if you aren't willing to defend yourself. So I
Look,
told you.
you'll be fine. You have us to defend you. But
All right.
Hey,
we'll get you
Victor.
something anyway.
You know there's seagulls by the ocean. And she's just gonna
I
walk over
know.
and hang out with Annika.
Oh.
I
Oh.
tell him that, didn't you?
Oh.
Absolutely had to do that.
I
didn't
think
you?
You live in
I think-
Sweden. Seagulls
You
are,
do-
you're never more than 200 miles away from the ocean.
I think you do see him. I think shiver a bit at the mention of seagulls, but under his breath, I think in a way that that Alfred would be able to hear. Will just. You think I haven't planned for this? All right, come on.
She
Don't
knows
worry,
And,
Victor.
He's got the bicarb soda and the vinegar all ready to go. It's just
Yep.
going to be a trail of
It's,
exploded seagulls. Wait, is
Yeah,
that
I
supposed
do-
to explode seagulls?
real-
Am I
Turns
remembering?
out, really disappointed, doesn't fucking work.
What?
I know, right?
No,
I think he
Seagulls
tends
can
towards
actually
Josh, you
fart.
cried?
No, I
See, I
happened
think
to.
in the-
I watched a YouTube video and I was very
Oh, okay.
upset.
See, I think in terms of elements in particular, Victor tends to prefer lead. But that being said,
Yeah.
I do think that unless Alfred is in the middle of anything, he will lead him towards the armory, mentioning something about how he likes it more there anyway, less windows.
All right. And I
It's
think
underground.
Now, a small question.
yes,
Because I believe that the last time we went through there was still a like 6-shot revolver
Mhm.
in there, and so he'll happily sort of help find one of those and sort of a bag to keep it in, as was mentioned, and pass
Yep.
it all over to Alfred, and he'll ask, "Do you have any training with these?"
Unfortunately.
All right, and sort of pats you on the shoulder.
all right.
I'm not sure where you are going next, but I might stay here for a while.
Okay. So I think
Terris, did you have something?
Yes, I did have a question. Would I have to spend resources to make more silver suspensions in
yes.
More
how
chemical
many
weapons.
resources would I
Any
need
more of your
to
fucking hot shots.
yes, more hot shots. How many resources would I need to spend to make a few more hot shots to
I'd say
myself?
1 resource for 2.
Then I will spend 2 resources, leaving me with 4
Okay.
resources.
And I think that is a good place to go for a quick break, because I almost forgot one.
Yeah.
Sweet.
As
Nice.
and during the
I
break,
reminded you because I want a little coffee.
I'm
idea.
hydrated
so yeah.
again because I've drunk too much tea.
yeah, same.
2.5 liters is a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this one
yes,
takes
it is.
7 deciliters.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
yes,
Break
we're gonna go
for-
on a quick break as the party are setting up and getting ready for, heading out.
The
Uh,
seaside.
Yes. So when we get
Well,
back
see
for
the
the
duck.
break,
Like to be beside the seaside.
when we get back, we shall check in what they've gathered and how they plan to get to the other side of the country. We shall be back. Well, I normally say 5 to 10 minutes. It usually
Submarine.
turns into 15. So somewhere
So
between
s-
10 and 15 minutes, we shall be back. Welcome back, everyone, and well, I said 15 minutes. It turned to 20, because I can't keep track of time. I think I don't read. I think it was 10 past. No, 15 past when we went on break. Anyway, we're back. Hello, and preparations are. That's not it. On their way. Victor and Alfred went down into the armory, got Alfred armed with a pistol and some silver bullets. You can also ask the butler to get you some stuff. It was going to take some time. Silver bullets is not exactly something you walk up to a store and say, "Hi, do you have any?"
No, we make our own.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, I'll leave that to Victor. He's probably much more equipped to understand what an old man might need. But and I think I'd be much more useful in attempting to research. Since I did hear somewhat in the break, I might coincidentally run into Josh's character, whose name is also an A.
Hansfred.
Hansfred. I actually had it right in my head, but I didn't say it. I will kind of catch his expression and go, "Did you have a thought? A process?"
Surprisingly many, you might. My
I did not
primary.
mean to. I apologize.
He smiles self-deprecatingly, like he knows his own limitations. But this was a joke at his own expense. And he says, "I am not comfortable going into this knowing as little as we do. Normally, we know a little more than."
I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm glad you're saying that.
No, this is, and I would not be surprised if the rest are thinking the same. Blender
Yeah, don't
definitely is.
Don't like it.
But Blender rarely likes anything.
No, that's
I had
fair.
questions about that. That's good to know. That's not just.
Oh,
They,
it's just you. It's just half
I-
smiles
you-
at you.
Oh, you're
It's
there.
Blender's
Fantastic.
there.
Hello.
I thought this was in a corridor.
Oh, I thought we were all in the library.
No.
My bad. Yeah, no, ignore that then.
Peeking over the
Well, actually,
banister.
no one is. If it helps at all, I don't think anyone is treating you any differently than they would treat anyone
No,
else. So
no,
you are
no.
you're
That's-
not. If you're getting bad vibes off someone, then don't worry, it's them, not you.
I honestly,
Yep.
no, Linda is she's a younger person. I'm an older person. I just assumed it was like a teacher thing.
It's only like 10 years difference.
No, we're all quite old.
30s,
40s?
40. Never mind.
I think
Well, I'm
Annika is
59.
the
I'm like
youngest.
60. Yeah.
36.
Disregard.
I thought
Alright.
Alfred was younger than Annika.
He might be. Actually, yeah, he's probably a couple of years younger.
Well, I did the research through the
I
newspapers.
wrote it down. Yeah, I'm 32.
Through collectively, we should be able to find information. It's just, I suppose, what in what branch? Collectively, I'm sure
Well-
we've come up with something.
Well, quite. I want to know what it can do, how it could potentially kill my wife, and how to prevent that if necessary. Have we asked? I often find the quickest way is to find a vet deer and ask.
Ah, yes, of course, that makes sense.
They do tend to be quite forthcoming, particularly if you have food.
I gathered that.
Though
That's
we
how-
may have to.
That was my first paper. It was mostly based on them. So don't tell.
They are lovely folk. I recommend get a private carriage on a train. Then you get a good conversation.
Mm.
Or you get a public one and freak out some children.
Oopsie.
Which we definitely didn't do.
Definitely
We gave at
didn't give
least
several
2
children
kids
the
the
sight.
That was late.
One of them was
Terrible
actually just from the
stories.
trauma of seeing Leighton's cat.
You're not even kidding either.
Poor Ambrose.
Perfect
No.
normal cat. He just has no hair.
No, he's not.
I'd be
Something up with
I'd be
that
very
guy.
curious to see how all of you folks do it. So if you want to gather the troops, so to speak.
I don't know if we can do it here. I suppose this is an element of folklore. Come, let's go and chat with those with larger brains than mine. And he sort of leads you back to the library so that the conversation could be had with more than one person. And he proposes is this an element of national folklore, not just, it's not a local superstition.
That sounds like a learning test. Okay.
So, in the time between the Victor and Alfred leaving the is anyone still in the library at this as
Oh.
the previous stuff happening?
How much tea is left in the teapot? That will determine whether Leighton is still.
How fast do you drink it?
Yeah.
If anything, if the beginning of this call says anything about it, Terris, it's been gone for a while.
Just
You've been up to
chugging
pee
liters of
twice.
tea.
I'd say that when you get back, Alfred
Understood.
and Ansfrid, when you get back to the others, Linnea is now asleep in one of the armchairs by the fire.
I would actually have a question for Linnea as well.
Okay.
But I'll wait until she wakes up. Perhaps
I'll wake her
around lunchtime. No. Let's wait for lunch. This is better question to have over lunch anyway. Indeed,
sure.
Algot, if you're around, you could perhaps answer the question as well. The question simply relates to methodology and how much that may have changed between generations.
Oh.
We are a capable bunch here today. In Linnea's time, were they of a different mindset? More researchy, less, and then kill the bastard.
There was absolutely more of a research and leave type group. Unless the Vaesen proved an immediate threat, then they would be left to capable hands.
And he lowers his voice a little bit to sort of between you and me and the fence post. So what was the ideological difference? If indeed, as I'm beginning to suspect that this Olga simply was representing a more us kind of mindset than Linnea kind of mindset.
I was not privy to a lot, but in my station, word travels between the walls. And he lifts an eyebrow a little bit.
You can just say
Come,
you're
my
a
friend.
snoop.
Yeah.
Well, no one hears things like the servants.
Indeed. Olga and her 3 friends were more of a research and summon mentality, while the rest of the society were more of a research and contain.
I suppose we definitely fit into the second category more than the first. If not, we're a
Indeed.
third category. Research and then normally get rid of, actually. But that's only when people come with us with specific problems with Vaesen.
Indeed.
And in fairness, the very last one we encountered is still alive and very alive and fine.
Indeed. Olga.
He says that like loudly at Alfred.
I'm probably acting like I'm probably like just kind of trying to find things and like acting like, you know, I'm like not listening. Like I'm like and I'm like reading a book upside down and go, yes. Yes.
Linda's actively
Emma
trying
mate.
to listen in. She's gotten closer.
I wouldn't be. I basically am speaking low enough to not wake Linnea up. That's really.
Oh, I know you're not
yeah.
trying to keep it private. I just
Yeah.
meant that, like, with the killing thing, I'm like trying to hide my concern because, like,
Yeah.
he's a passenger in this vehicle.
We have.
He's got no room to object at this point.
I
as far as
suppose
this is
Ansfred has quite good empathy, and would sort of pick up on his potential nervousness, and says, of the last 3 investigations, this current generation of investigators have encountered only 2 actually resulted in violence towards the creature responsible.
65% chance.
So,
Well-
Snowballing.
so I've gathered.
But both times it was at specific request of the folks living in that area. And in, I believe, both cases, humans had died. Like, specifically because of the Vaesen.
I would love to hear more. However, I would be a very poor teacher if I did not take a moment to at least appreciate the nuance. I look forward to hearing more about the specific details and hopefully adding further nuance in whatever adventures we end up in together. I am not going to lie that it sounds like perhaps we are a little
Trigger happy?
filled with fervor.
We don't normally start the violence.
I've never killed anything without a good reason.
Yeah, we just finished the violence.
I suppose what I'm saying is that I am here to observe. I do not assume that you share my values or my, as previously stated, limited understanding in comparison. I am happy to observe and learn. I simply cannot necessarily join in, as you said, the trigger happiness and might find other ways to circumvent.
Leighton does that.
Oh, thank goodness. There's another one of us.
Looking
Good
over to
morning.
Leighton as he's making his silver concoctions in the corner.
Yeah, I Ansford said his piece. He thinks he's probably done. He's said. I think he said it as well as he can. He's not content with Alfred's response, but I think he sort of gives you the look of I think I get it, and also looks at the bag with all the vegetables in it and goes like, this does make sense. Okay, I get it. What was Alfred's surname, please?
Anderson with 2 R's.
Cool.
Yep.
He says, "Well, Mr. Anderson, if you,
Mr. Anderson.
Oh,
I
no.
deliberately said it differently.
Ah,
I deliberately said it differently.
Sorry.
oh, I walked into that. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
It's a lovely Scandi surname.
I killed you, Mr. Anderson. I watched you die.
But I think, and it's worthy to note that he called you Alfred up until this point. But he says, but if Mr. Anderson, if you are here to help, then help you shall, please. You are a researcher, please. My particular concern here is what this is and how it can hurt us, and how, if possible, if necessary, we can hurt it.
Well, I don't mean to pass the buck, but it seems to me that the investigator that might have a bit more hands-on knowledge is your lovely wife, whose name I definitely remember, and it is Annika.
Annika.
That's how I remember it.
I like to think Annika has wandered off and is now lost in the depths of the bookshelves as she tries to find every tome that might reference Mille, or Hillman, or even kind of earthquakes relating to Vaesen.
Seeing the stack of
I
books
would
you
have
probably have
shared that
Bled is
information I found in the article as well. But sorry, Jessica.
Sorry.
No, it's my
Um,
bad.
No, it's
You're going
seeing
first.
all the books that you've got stacked up, Blender all come just like arms out to help you carry them all back. That was all. Wasn't really.
I would possibly suggest also dates and events of particular seismic activity.
That's what I was looking for.
And if
were
they
a few years
correlate.
apart. Correlate?
With other events. Something else
Not
happening
a
similar
pattern.
times.
Hmm.
I'll get the red string.
I'd say it
Yes.
was
Okay.
as you were.
I've connected.
So, Alfred, when we were rifling through the newspaper articles earlier, I'd also say with the success you had, you would have come across a small, because this is on the other side of the country, people here are not necessarily all that interested. You would find like a small paragraph notice about a murder happening here.
Here?
No, in the town in Mölle. Someone was
Okay,
found
singular.
dead. Yeah, one. Someone was found dead almost a year previously. And being of the time and trying to shield the readers from, too much of an actual heart rate.
Unpleasantness.
Yeah, unpleasant. It said that said something like gruesome murder and a woman found dead, culprit still at large.
Woman found dead where?
Outside on the cliffs.
If
Or near the beach.
Well, what I was going to ask, one word that stuck out to me in this article was the word hotel. They use the word hotel in the letter as well. I would like to see how close to this hotel that is mentioned in the article where the body approximately might have been, please.
In that
Do we have a map?
yes.
I don't mean DM. I mean, do we have a map in the library? Would we have a map of Melle?
In Imagination Land.
I think, yeah.
Taking some time to look through, because you have a lot of maps in this library.
Yeah.
So it might take you like 10 minutes to go through, like, roll up, check. But eventually you would find one. Let me bring it up for you.
Oh, shit.
And there we go.
And while we're at it, I might also say I'd like to know if we can find a photo of the victim. I'm wondering if if they were in a swimsuit or something.
Yes. How recent is this the business with the new hotel?
The new hotel at this time would have been. Let me actually check, because there is.
Ooh, there's a lust cave.
Let's go.
Uh,
Nothing bad will happen.
Sounds great.
Let's go to Skull Hill.
And the
I love
and
that
the
the
body
lust cave is near Skull Hill.
and the body was found whereabouts on this map when you're ready, Ardana?
let me see. So the hotel had just opened like 2 years prior, so in 1988.
1888.
1898.
Sorry,
Yep.
1888. And did I have a map of the actual town? Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
That might be worth putting a pin in if we don't find enough information to talk to the local authorities. See what we can squeeze out of them in terms of correlation and causation.
Okay.
I get the feeling that this nudity might have more to it than we think.
Yep. So there's
This
no more.
place, is it large enough to have its own police?
It would be, yes. So there's no more specific map of the small town itself, but I'd say being in that small article you found, it would have said that who would they have been? Nope.
And it was a woman, singular, one.
Yeah.
One woman.
One woman. And trying to find
Does it mention cause of death?
Just it was gruesome.
Or what?
yeah, gruesome.
Gruesome.
Yes.
Did it say more than that?
No, it would have been found in outskirts of the small fishing town.
Right.
So probably walking from where the body was found into town would have taken you maybe 15-20 minutes at most.
Always the hikers that find the bodies.
That's why you don't go hiking. Too risky.
Let me see who exactly.
Every other hiker is a murderer, so.
Yeah.
Two types of hikers: murderers and future murder victims.
Can you hear me?
Barely.
How about now?
That's better.
That's better.
Okay. Does the article say anything about the type of murder? Like, what exactly happened to this person?
No.
Okay.
It's not something they would write, like even mention at this time because.
I imagine they're wanting not to scare people from coming to their beautiful town and using their hotels and scantily clad beaches.
So we
It
need
didn't
to
say anything
find
about
out
scantily
where-
clad. It just said mixed gender.
I don't fully understand how a beach can wear clothes at all.
Yeah.
Well, when a lot of people leave them on the shoreline.
That's true.
So we need to figure out, once we arrive, I suppose, where the body was found, how they died, and whether they have connections. It also wouldn't
Yes.
hurt
Oh.
to potentially find out if any of the victim's relatives live in town, or someone that she was close to if she was a tourist.
Was she famous? Was she a tourist?
Well, we don't know. I
Oh.
don't think it said.
Probably have to talk to the local doctor, I suppose.
Oh. How convenient.
I'll have to examine the body myself.
I think in spite of
It's over
his,
a year ago. I doubt you can.
No, it's a year ago. Right.
What were you going
in
to say?
in spite of his sort of staying in the other room for a while, I think he's getting a little too used to being around people, and will rejoin you all in the room. I think just sort of constantly shooting glances out to the large side wall, but we'll try to sort of move over to the table where you all are and just, what have we found?
Okay. You would. So the article would call the victim Miss Johnson, sister of the chef at the hotel.
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
there you are. Connection
a
to the
local.
hotel.
Yes.
Just as I suspected.
Hmm.
Connection to the hotel, though. There's not nothing. Hotel was mentioned in the letter, and now it's in this article.
And a local, not a tourist, using the facilities.
Indeed. Although we can't necessarily be certain that she wasn't using the beaches.
Oh, no.
Once.
But a local using the beaches would possibly be worse.
Indeed.
The foreigners, they don't know our customs, whereas the locals should know better.
Hmm.
You said you wanted to talk to a Vaesen?
Vaesen, yes.
No,
A vet,
Vetia. A Vetia.
Vaesen.
Yeah, we'd have to find
Vetia.
one nearby for information. They're not particularly mobile.
They seem to like snacks.
They do like
We have
snacks.
that in common.
Do you want one nearby our town or one closer to
Well, if
other
I was going
domains?
to ask it for information about this hill man, I figured upon near the hill in question.
Yes, of course.
All of this seems like I don't
Sure.
like going in this lacking in knowledge.
We'll make
If
sort of
only there
pack
was
a lot
some
of bread
way
and
of
honey.
being able
suppose.
to communicate over large distances, that would make things very much easier.
He has a pigeon.
Does anyone know message?
I mean, I can write a message, but it's definitely...
Daria's not here. She's not here to glare at me about that one.
No, at this
You know that I am
distance,
glaring at you.
at this distance,
worth
you would
noting.
use sending, not message.
Once we get
Well, quite.
once we get to the location in question, if you do indeed believe it is a trap, of course I'm not excited about the notion, but if you think you've made yourselves enough of a reputation that it's a trap for you specifically, well, they don't know me.
Never let point.
This is true. Yes.
You can be what is the phrase? Trump in the hole.
A prying eye, see what I can learn
Face
about.
in the hole.
Oh,
I'm not thrilled about the idea, but
We do wish.
Is the map that we found of the area, have we put that away, or is that kind of just on the table in the middle
I
of
think it's on the
everything?
table.
what would you like?
I'd say on the table.
That is a great question.
Yes.
All right. I think that being the case, Victor would probably have leaned over the table to try to get a view of everything that was sort of being looked at. But when his eyes fell on the map, I think would have just sort of gone still for a minute, and he stared at it, and then just I assume that we'll be sticking mostly to this lighthouse where the hill is.
The lighthouse would be the first place I'd go.
How close do we think the hotel is to the lighthouse, out of curiosity? Because the hotel seems to be the thing that keeps coming up in all of these various things, and never ignore a coincidence, especially not one repeated again and again.
Was there something? I'm not sure I was present when the information was presented the first time. I think I was digging a large hole. But was there something about this hillman and the family connected to it that were maintaining the
Yes.
traditions of the land?
Yes, it was about. Well, it's hard to know specifically, but my recollection, and I believe Annika, you also found a book about it, no?
I had
Go
the
on.
notes from Johan.
Yes.
Oh. Well, it seems that the activities of this hotel seem to be running right up against the good Christian values of the traditional morals of the land,
Oh, good,
which
forbid.
could fall into the purview of this hillman, lighthouse keeper.
Well, if
If the presence of this hotel is brewing discontent, it's possible that if Vaesen are attracted to such things, maybe the lighthouse keeper is incentivized to keep it away.
It's also possible that it's not a Vaesen at all.
That is what concerns me more, which is why I somewhat asked to be armored.
Very
I'm
much
much
fine to
more
high agree.
concerned about people than I am about Vaesen. Vaesen complex, but generally speaking, in my experience, they tend to have rather simple wants and needs, whereas people.
You should have met the last guy.
When it came down to it, she did have very simple wants and needs. We just needed to figure out what they were.
And the other guy was half human.
Well, he was human, yes, and therefore much more complicated and easier to
Yeah.
breed.
Yes.
That is the one advantage of a human adversary. Far
Mm.
more
I
fragile.
have a nasty, and something that had just occurred to me. What if we're looking at this from the wrong direction? And that cause and effect is not the right way around. That in fact the cause was the arrival of this coven of Olga's.
Well, if Olga's thing was all about like unleashing Vaesen, is it possible that they have unleashed something that they now cannot control? Or are
They
in
came
danger
looking
from?
for power, a power that I think, by the sound of it, it was this hillman is a human who can control this power. Or some
Or was a human?
or was at some point. So, but with the sight. And they went looking for the same power by the sound of it. I reckon they have stepped on an anthill and not like how many ants came out.
Quick note, judging by the map, you can tell it's roughly 5 kilometers between the fishing village and the lighthouse. So it would take you guys probably an hour on foot to get there, but like a fisherman or a farmer not being in a hurry, an hour and a half.
Yep.
Okay.
There are too many questions that it seems to me
We can't
we
answer
are only
until
going
we
to be
go.
able once we arrive,
Yeah.
which
Need
does
some
concern
Yeah.
me.
knowledge.
I don't like that at all.
But one
What's-
thing does seem for certain: this person does almost certainly need help. The question is from what? Based on what I'm hearing, there are definitely enough reasons to assume, unless I'm missing something, that this person is in genuine danger.
Yes.
Yes. I won't be
Agree
very
with that.
happy though if we have to clean up a mess.
We're almost certainly going to have to do that. I think an anthill has been kicked and we will be
I think
called
you
upon
might
to
be
put them
right.
back in the ground. Hopefully not literally. So, I think we need from someone a visual description of this Olga.
I'll wake
So
her
we
up.
know who we're looking for. We don't need to do it just yet. We're not going today. Wait, let the lady have her sleep. She probably needs it.
She'll be fine.
Yes.
And beyond that, mode of transportation. I think we travel as quietly as we can this time.
Yes.
I don't think my guess, and I am open to being contradicted here, is that Olga does not know who we are. Olga could have sent a letter to us. Olga chose to send a letter to someone in an insane asylum.
She did know her though.
She did,
Desperation.
but she knew her in such a way that would make her less inclined, potentially, to help her than total strangers. They have
Yes.
history, we don't. If someone had failed to tell us, if, for example, I don't even know if Algot would have told us or if it would have been relevant, but she doesn't either. It would have been simpler to message us if that was the goal.
True. Good point.
Well, if
Possibly she's concerned about how. It's possible she's not aware the society is reopened.
All to the good, and this is my point. If it is a trap, we don't want to advertise that we, the society, have come.
Good point.
Yes.
until we make contact, which we inevitably, obviously, will probably have to. I recommend when we do, we don't all do it, and those of us with the slickest tongues and prettiest faces perhaps do it. Later.
Not it.
Annika kind of like just remembers on multiple occasions when they've needed respectable people to go in. It's usually
It's Leighton and Annika.
Mhm.
it's like we need people who look respectable. You two go in there and
Oh.
talk to the important people.
While
Alfred
the
would
conversation's
probably make a
happening,
good
I'm
addition.
just I think Alfred. Sorry, Chicken. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. I think Victor just threw in that you'd probably make a good addition to that group.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
You look respectable.
Well.
And you're less inclined to violence, so
What? I'm just kind of looking at the two articles. One thing worth noting. What was a hunch? I am going to say almost outright. This is the same hotel that this person is staying in. Seaside Hotel, you see?
I'd say so.
Which means, personally, if we're going to do this, then I think that we should possibly send a telegram ahead and make a booking.
Algot?
Yes, Master Ansfrid. You see him
There's
just.
no need for the master. Thank you, though. We would like to make a booking, please. Send a telegram and book a lovely room, or 3, probably, at least. 4, I would say, for this hotel down near the beach.
You don't want to stay in a room with Leighton. That cat, it snores.
Only
There
a
are other
little.
reasons.
I can
you?
absolutely do that.
when she
Please
awakes,
keep the name. I don't. Josh doesn't know exactly what details a telegram would have on it, but yeah, the names. Please limit to surnames, not professions, and certainly not indicate. If possible, is it possible to make it sure that it doesn't? That it's not signified that it's coming from Gothenburg? No, is it Gothenburg?
Uppsala?
Uppsala.
Uppsala. Sorry, yeah. You live in Gothenburg, or somebody lives in Gothenburg. There's
You were in Gothenburg
it's-
last time.
Mhm.
Ah.
You
there we
you
go.
swapped from riverboat to ship.
That's right. Uppsala. So, yeah, don't tell them it's from Uppsala.
When she awakens, it might be worth asking the Lady Linnea if she wouldn't mind expensing us. She did mention
She
Yes.
did say
help us
she
to
would.
acquire things.
I believe, and I'm welcome to being wrong, that there is money in the general coffers. The lady is getting on a bit and has recently made a fairly major purchase. I don't want to drain her coffers unnecessarily.
Fair enough.
Plus,
Yeah,
we
you
own
have-
a
always,
quarry, do we not?
Yes, we own a quarry. I also have some money that we can use if need be.
I don't want to drain anybody's personal coffers. I believe the society has funds for exactly this purpose.
Certainly.
We can always
Yes.
revisit the issue depending on how expensive this turns out to be.
Maybe Linnea can top up the thing to within her means.
After the fact.
It may be an expensive hotel. And he looks at Annika and sort of braces himself for her inevitable response. And he says, perhaps disguises would be a good idea.
Disguises?
Disguises.
This is a place for the influential, the cultural elite of Europe, I think.
Hmm.
To go and
Put me
prance
in a
around
fa-
in their...
Mhm.
You don't have to wear a French fancy if you don't want to.
Good.
Let me stop by the office and pick up some things.
Put me in
'Cause
a
I-
box and I will
Sorry.
shoot you. I won't have you shot. I will shoot you.
I think the only thing that could improve the image of you in a French fancy would be the double-barrel shotgun and the angry bloodhound.
That is quite
Rifle.
an image.
It's a rifle and Fluffy would
Side-eyeing
wear
Victor right now.
Fluffy does like bonnets.
I think you just see, like, as Ansford finishes it, just the kind of like,
Wait, what? I missed that.
Just go on for 5 minutes, just going.
Victor just sort of went like
Yeah, just imagine.
in response to what Ansford said.
It's would say. Oh,
Um,
okay,
I-
yeah. No, my bad. My
I do
brain's
think
left me, man.
I do think Victor will actually also ask to head into town if people are going, because he has a couple of supplies he'd like to pick up.
Of course.
I'll come as well. I'll bring Mortis out
Excellent.
again. He can
I think
carry
I have a
anything
little
heavy.
bit more research I could do here. I'm going to try and see if let's see what I can find. But in the
You need
meantime,
anything in
seismograph,
town?
please.
A seismograph.
Seismograph.
Something that detects vibrations. It's a
Oh.
long shot, but if it can affect the land, that's the best way I know how. Unless it's a metaphor, which is possible.
This part of
Probably
Sweden
not.
is volcanically active. So,
Was.
um,
It was.
Yeah.
or was. Well, I think the point is that it is.
It's about to be.
Well, not
I
naturally
have
volcanically
Yeah.
active.
My-
To be when
I
I
have
get
it in
there
my
and start
head.
stomping.
that volcanoes and sort of volcanic activity make the ground acidic.
Yeah,
So
sulfur.
possibly a soil testing kit.
Yeah. It's true.
Some litmus paper.
So while they're all doing that, I
Mhm.
think what Alfred will do is simply try and look into the history of the hotel and anything else to do with the culture of the town. So like kind of like where the loggerheads began, anything about the lighthouse, all of that dossier stuff.
Okay. Give me a.
Thank God we have a couple of clever people.
I
in
want to
this.
say investigation, but that's not the name of it in this. It's called. It is investigation. Investigation or learning.
Yay!
You know
Because
what
you
the answer
are
to that
actually
is.
looking through what you know.
I'm still good at
And
investigation.
books.
Yeah, 12 dice for learning is kind of insane. So
Yes.
Kind of cracked, not gonna lie.
Of course I'm gonna do it all the time.
yeah, of course.
Absolutely. Play to your strengths, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that is 2 successes.
Okay. With
I-
2 success.
Small question.
Yes.
Go ahead first. No, I have a question after this, is all I'm saying.
Okay. With 2 successes, let me see. I'm gonna grab all the names. You would be able to, well, rifling through newspaper articles and books of the area, looking through maps, etc. You would. And with 2 successes, I would say that. Where are you? Main conflict. There it is. The hotel opened the way that it conducts its business 2 years prior, and it is the first of its kind in Sweden, where they allow mixed gender bathing at the seaside, and people come from all over the place to visit. Even at this time there are weekly trains from all the way from Berlin in the summer months. And as far as you can find, there are both from the article that you read before, you would know that there is a serious conflict between the locals, most of the locals, and the people running the hotel. And they're about this because can't have all this in our tiny little fisher village.
I want to go to the village of sin.
The smut
Uh.
caves, I like those.
Living in
Smut.
at the
Smut cave.
Holiday Inn.
We have the hope.
As far as you can find out, the main opponents to the hotel are the current lightkeeper, Magnus Lundin.
Not suspicious at all.
The chaplain of the local church, also
Shocker.
I know,
No
also named
way.
Algot.
Lundin.
Algot.
Oh.
Okay.
Algot Kransvik,
Ah.
and the fisherman's wife Anna Svensson, who is leading the group trying to shut down the hotel. Bless you.
Good old-fashioned picketing. Good for her.
Yes,
Fishermen's wives for decency.
basically yes.
For
Local
wood.
307. Yeah.
Uh,
Interesting.
The
And
yep.
go ahead.
The
Finish
hotel.
what you have, and I'll ask
Okay.
when you're done.
The hotel owner, Katarina Jönsson.
Okay. I
Uh,
apologize for butchering your language. I'm just
it's
typing
fine.
out what I hear.
I butchered on the daily, so
You knew what you were getting into when you signed up for running a bunch of English speakers through a Swedish adventure.
exactly.
Yeah.
The fisherman's wife's daughter Lisa, and a couple of other locals are.
But not the fisherman's daughter.
Fisherman's
So
friend.
she's been divorced.
No,
so she's living in sin.
No, the fisherman's wife is a
Not
widow. It says fisherman's wife here, and then later down it says the fisherman was lost at sea. So the fisherman's widow,
Around an island about a year ago, sacrificed in a pagan ritual.
probably yes.
Oh,
Oopsie.
yeah.
Goodness.
Don't worry, it's fine as long as they give something of value to a fish.
No, the Anna Svensson's daughter Lisa and the owner of the hotel and a couple of others living in the city are all for like, this bringing in tourist money. What's the big deal?
They got a point.
Well, yeah, we think so because we're from 2024.
Yes.
Glenda thinks so.
And the notion of not being allowed to bathe on the same beach as my wife, I'm like, well, then why do I go to beaches?
That's
right.
Everybody there
Especially
saying.
in fucking Sweden. It's like, no, I'm good.
It's not
It
bad.
was the same way in England at the time too.
Is it? I would have thought it was like Rocky. I'm
Well, that
comparing
was
it
my
to-
question. I said, are the beaches sandy? I imagine it depends on the beach, but a lot of the beaches on the North Sea in England are
Yeah, that's
fucking
what I was
rocks.
picturing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mainly cliffs. But there are some
Yeah.
sandy beaches, but mainly cliffs.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
quite
Going
funny.
to hang out at the cliffs with all the other village males. Yes, what a good time.
Village males getting your feet stabbed by shells. Yeah, great
Yeah.
fucking deal.
So
Mind you, I went
this
to Karratha just last
Incredible.
week, and we were doing exactly that. So
so it's
True, actually.
It's basically this village has popped up in
Yeah.
what is a natural harbor. So basically, the only sandy beach along this whole peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay then.
And
All
they're
right.
sullying it with their sinful mixed gender bathing.
That's right. Okay, so the hotel seems to be a certain distance from the lighthouse that's already been established. I'm trying to think of any other immediate questions. We have the names. That's good. The hotel started up 2 years ago. I'm just rattling off what I know.
Mhm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Adana. And we still don't know anything about the victim and who she might be connected to.
Yeah.
Correct? No, we know
Uh,
she's a local.
Yeah, you know.
And she has a sister.
Yeah.
right?
So
Oh yeah, I think
no.
she was the
She was the sister of the
fisherman's
No,
wife,
the
right?
victim is the sister of the hotel chef.
Yep.
Oh,
yep,
the
yep,
hotel
okay.
chef. Okay.
So definitely something to talk to the chef about. I think I've got everything that I can get. Apart from just kind of going over again, like, you know, what the term changing the land could mean, because that's the only question mark I have left. Obviously earthquakes have happened, but you said they were
Landslides.
years apart, right? So there hasn't been a recent one.
No, they were years apart, and also, say with a 2 success, And with your knowledge, general knowledge of Vaesen, I'm actually going to... What did it say? You do know...
The mention of like all the caves and ravines forming seems interesting.
Yeah.
Because I did see that in one of the articles, right?
Oh yeah,
Unless I'm hallucinating again.
There we go.
could be.
Where are we here? Yeah, here. Supposedly these forces cause the ground to rise from the flat clay. It's said that there are caves and ravines where supernatural energies dwell and stuff like that. And I wonder whether that's
occult heritage.
the
of the
occult
hill, right?
heritage, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder
so
whether
that
that's...
hasn't happened as far as I can tell,
Mm.
because I looked into that and Adana did not say anything like that. Although
No.
maybe I need to give specific wording. Did that happen? What Chicken just said? Oh no.
No.
I'm more so like I don't necessarily know whether it's happened. I'm also just thinking like even if it's not explicitly said, maybe.
It could just. I guess the only exception to the rule might be maybe it's one of those things that is so common that it's not reportable. It's not news.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
so that could be. It's something to underpin. But as far as I can tell, there's been no massive disaster
No.
as of yet.
No.
I think any large-scale natural disaster would make the news.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. I think I'm good.
Um,
I don't have anything else unless I discover anything else or if I miss something.
Yeah,
that-
I'm just
can
gonna add as well that with your knowledge of Vaesen and with the general rumors and information you've gathered, that there are certain Vaesen that have the ability to twist people's perceptions.
Ah.
So there might not actually be earthquakes happening. It's just that someone has the ability on a large scale affect people's perceptions.
Mold poisoning.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be reported on from people who live in that area?
Not if they can't prove it happened. Then
Not
they're
if
just a
they're-
bunch of crazy people.
And not if they have mass carbon monoxide poisoning, because
But
then
if
they wouldn't even think
if
to
everyone
report it.
agrees that it happened, then they would report it in
Yeah.
their local area. It's not like they have to prove it to anybody else because they saw it too, no? Or am I
No,
missing something?
so
Yeah.
no, what I'm trying to say is that yes, there are reports of minor earthquakes happening from the area, but
Oh, what do you mean? Like
those
more so of a
those
like in a
reports
legacy
might not
way?
actually have happened, or those.
Unsubstantiated, yeah.
It's
So
just
the
that
reports of it being an area that's prone to that might be misguided by like the warping of perception or something. Even if we haven't seen specifically, like there have been big earthquakes recently. It's just like because we know, oh yeah, a bunch of caves and ravines and stuff formed, and the area's prone to that.
Right.
It might not even be that. It might be the result of someone's brain getting toyed with, maybe.
Right. Well, either way, it's a situation where I don't think there's any more to learn until we get there.
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Because the last one I heard about was a year ago. So either there's a massive conspiracy or something's fucking with something else. That's
Yeah.
you know. So
Seems right.
yeah. Okay, I am good.
Cool.
Adana,
yes,
would Leighton, as a doctor, have litmus papers in his possession, in his doctor's bag for testing?
If he doesn't, Ansfred's buying some anyway. He was planning on
Excellent.
getting a seismograph and some litmus paper, and he would go into. Ansfred's plan was to go into the local shop in Uppsala, which is it's a scientific. It's like it's a university town, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
So there
Yes,
would be there would be a shop or a few, or maybe the university itself, where he could go and say, "Hey, we need this for some tasting and stuff." And he is known to be an investigator. He works with the Blomqvist investigator family. Like they actually is his job. So it's
Yeah.
probably not unknown to people. If not him, then he would take Annika with him. But like I would engineer that happened. That we could acquire without raising any eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed, actually, seeing as I'm going, can I inquire, or make Annika inquire, because she's better at inquiring, if any research was done on that region?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So
I'm happy to do it if Annika would be doing something else. But
Well,
Annika did
Annika's
say
got to
she would
stop
go
by
back
the
to the
agency,
office.
but she
Yeah.
can do.
okay, so
I
Annika is
figured we went together to stop by the agency. Ansfred will absolutely make sure that you've got at least one swimsuit in your bag, even if you don't pack it.
I'm mainly there for
Oh
disguise.
no!
stuff.
Well, you know it's here. You might as well put it on.
It must have been left over from the last
slowly,
holiday.
You know.
Yeah, on or off. I'm not bothered which. The pictures are very, I love wool from the neck down,
Yes, the very saucy, completely
It's
covered
all
swimsuits of
woolly.
the 1890s.
Like, I love that the swimsuits that you could not swim in. There's a reason that the world speed record in swimming has increased every year for the first sort of half of the 20th century, because you were getting progressively better swimsuits, if nothing else.
Also a reason that drownings have decreased.
Yeah, well, that too, yes.
Yeah, you weren't wearing 10 kilos of wool.
Wool.
also a reason why part of the lifeguard training is to swim 2 kilometers in clothing,
Yeah.
which sucks.
They only made us do 15 minutes of treading water in pajamas, specifically pajamas. They insisted upon it, so I had to bring pajamas to school. I don't wear pajamas. I sleep nude, thank you very much. So I had to go out and buy pajamas, specifically. Terris, you don't wear clothes ever.
I wear clothes to court. That's about the office, and that's
You're
about the
so
only time.
valid.
I had to swim 200 meters in a hoodie and sweatpants for my lifeguard training.
Fun.
Fun.
That was fun. Okay, well, yeah, we're
Annika
about to
and I
wrap
do
up,
that.
so you can pretty easily at the university with your reputation, etc. Give me a real quick. Give me a what would that be? I think it would be an empathy manipulation check to see if you're allowed to rent or buy the seismograph.
Seeing as it's manipulation, and I have conjuring tricks, stealth instead of manipulation to influence people, can
Sure.
I use stealth?
Not in this case. You're not trying to be
I didn't think
sneaky.
so. No, that's fair. In which case, I am really shit at it. Let's see.
Doing the close-up magic routine. Sell me
Hey!
your seismograph.
I rolled 3 dice. I got 1 6.
Hey, let's go.
Nice. Okay, so
I have nothing in manipulation. I am, however, extremely good at stealth. Stealth is my learning.
okay. Well, you after some bothering back and forth, you are allowed to buy one of the seismographs they have for 1 resource.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I'll burn a resource on that.
and they just
Resources recharge, don't they? They just at the beginning of every adventure or whatever, you have 4 resources.
yeah, basically.
Like,
I've ruled it that you
Yeah.
get about 5. I think it was 5 resources every month from the quarry. So
Yeah.
that's basically because we don't play that often. So at start of like once every month, your resources come back plus the 5 you get from the quarry.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
Pretty cool.
there will be. Anyone could roll me a d10, please.
Sure. I've got one on hand.
Busy
6.
painting a purple
Okay.
scabbard.
You get 6 litmus papers.
That'll do.
Cool.
And
Do
besides
I
my
need to
draft.
roll anything to collect disguise supplies from the Blomfist Detective Agency?
Nah, it's your agency. You know where stuff is.
Just pop in. Hi, Monty. I'm just taking some stuff.
FYI, we're fucking off to Melle for about a week.
You get a
Probably
head
a little
popping up
longer.
from behind a room. It's like, you what?
Lytton would like to know,
Mhm.
from the rest of you guys, if there is anything particular that you are worried about medically that he might have to incorporate into his medical supplies for this adventure.
I have a boil on my ankle.
Well, I can fix that when we get back home.
You can just hit it with a
I'd
book.
really rather you fixed it now.
Just stab it with something. What do we beat
Or-
down the
Down.
bush
Or hit it
Yeah.
with a book.
Sit down and give
Wait.
me your
Get rid
fork.
of cysts.
I'm good. Are we about to sit on a train for a day?
Mm.
What I
Uh,
mean by get
Basically,
home is what I mean
yeah.
by get home is back out of town.
Yeah.
Not-
Just in the middle of town by, the town hall, just stabbing boils.
Oh, I
in the
see.
street.
I was like, I'd rather wait. I'd rather not wait until we get back from the adventure.
Oh no.
Yes,
Oh,
I'd
dear.
while we're out, I'd like to see if I can pick up 3 things. They're all standard stuff that you can get out of the equipment section.
Okay.
But I just want to see if I can acquire a second pair of binoculars, a second hurricane lantern, and a set of lockpicks.
Yeah, I say you can get that. I'd say binoculars are kind of expensive, but I'd say you can get all of that for 2 resources.
That leaves me with a 1. Good enough.
You can take one of Blender's.
Or you can take one of mine as well. I've got
I think
4
there's
left.
still some money from the quarry, but never
Oh, in
mind.
that
It
case,
happens.
Mhm.
I think
that's
I think the point is we have so many resources we don't know what to do with them.
Yes.
And at the end of every adventure, we improve one room in the castle as well.
Yep.
And when we do get back to the house from the shopping trip, just quickly, I'm actually going to hand the second pair of binoculars to Alfred and the hurricane lantern to, I think, Ansfred. Basically just trying to sort of split some stuff up amongst the party. He's also going to hand his pair of binoculars to Blender. But he'll hold on to the other hurricane lantern. He just,
Thank you.
much as I loathe them, if we do wind up having to look in any of the caves, might be useful. And if we've got
Thank you.
somebody staring at us from atop a lighthouse, it might be better to know beforehand. As he kind of waves the binoculars and hands them to Blender.
Thank you.
And the lockpicks are in case we need money.
Yes.
I like to think Annika has arrived home with a suitcase of kind of bohemian-esque kind of accessories. If we need to look like we're progressive creative types, maybe from Paris.
All right.
Should I
As
be
well as
working on my accent? Or are
as well
you
as a
not
few,
there
like-
with me?
as well as a few hair pieces and maybe a fake mustache or 2.
Can I pick up a hunting trap? Can Blender have a fake mustache?
Well, that's up to the person holding the disguise. Okay, so anything...
Can I get a hunting trap though? I don't know. Is that?
Yeah?
Thank you.
What type?
What kind of?
Yes.
I don't know. It just specifies hunting trap. I'd like a bear trap, just personally.
You could probably find
Of
one
course.
lying around somewhere in the castle.
I pick it up.
Don't
It's
leave that
open.
lying around. Why is it? Why? Who left this here?
Sorry.
Algot!
What kind of disguise would you require us to wear?
I don't
apparently
think for everyone.
Well, apparently the hotel attracts, progressive, bohemian type. Is bohemian even a word in 1890? I have no idea. The sort who go into salons and talk about philosophy.
Mm,
And aren't opposed to the notion of, mixed gender bathing areas.
that's whatever.
And
I
women's
am opposed
suffrage.
to that.
Well,
When did women get the vote in Sweden?
Let me double check. I think it was 1925.
Also, Bohemian
Hasn't even been 100
apparently
years.
originated from the mid-19th century. So
Right, we're on track.
So it is. That's right. That's
Oh!
1921.
and it apparently comes
There you
from
go.
a French word. So yeah,
Woohoo! Over a century of being allowed to
Level
vote.
win.
Mhm.
Yep.
flavor win.
Maybe one day women will even be allowed to vote in elections. Wouldn't that be something?
Honey, you can vote. I just
would.
do what you tell me.
All right.
Just
Uh,
hijack Dansford's vote.
Yes, Ansford, but the magical thing would be if she could tell you how to vote and then vote herself, then she would have two.
That would be incredibly unfair. What if unmarried women would then only have one vote and all married women have two votes?
You know,
I don't believe in
right.
this representative democracy.
I think I should be allowed 2 votes.
I do as well.
but vote two.
all right.
I always loved that
I
anecdote
have
that women
not
shouldn't get the
voted for
vote because
years.
married men would just get 2 votes. Because of course a married woman would vote the same as her husband.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cute.
You're adorable. Okay. Anything else you want to do? So it's roughly afternoon now, and Algot, your butler, not to be confused with the chaplain Algot in Mölle, has returned with tickets for the train
love
for the
tickets.
next morning.
Oh.
Excellent.
The one for the horse.
Yes.
Do we need the horse?
We always need the horse.
Okay.
Oh,
We do
one
usually
other
need the
short
horse.
question: how long has it been since our last adventure?
But that one was early.
It's fine. I
Roughly
don't need
3
a
months.
specific amount. I'm also just wondering. I realized I still had some physical conditions left over, so I wanted to.
Oh
make sure I
no,
had the
those
time
are
to get a doctor
passed.
to pick
Those are
them up.
passed. So it's been a roughly 2.5, 3 months.
Yeah, cool, easy. All right, yeah.
I
Excellent.
guess Leighton would have been treating you for those conditions.
I was frightened, so one hopes I
Yeah,
haven't
so-
remained frightened.
No. So I mean,
Every
Carry on.
time you come
Should
to
I
the bedroom,
just leave that? Should I tick that now and just leave it there?
what, frightened?
Yeah.
Permanently.
Constant low level of anxiety.
Yeah.
now you're probably so
I
used to
mean-
it by now.
Yeah, no, it's pretty accurate.
Why am I sound like my little sister has this like absolute intense fear of eels. She can't stand eels.
Eel.
And for a while, Josh and other people, but mainly Josh,
I did it
would send her
twice.
pictures.
Mick did it way more than I did.
You and Mick were sending her pictures of eels. She stopped opening your text messages.
Which is why I stopped doing it. Yeah.
I have a pet
It's
eel
like,
named
Josh has sent me a picture. I'm not looking at it. I don't care what it is. And I want it on the record that the last time anybody tried to pull that stunt on her was you for her Christmas present when we got to the picture of Elvis Presley.
Yeah, that was a cartoon, and you were definitely involved in that. That was not just me.
I was. And we gave it to her and we said, and we were on board for this. We thought
Marriage.
you'd like this,
Everyone's
but
culpable.
if you don't, then, that's okay. And we'll keep it and you can have this one. And she's like, it's a picture of a fucking eel, isn't it? And we're like, no.
No, why would we give you a
how
picture of
fucking
an
dare
eel?
you.
What sort of
Not-
heartless
We are both
monster?
qualified,
Exactly.
trained actors and completely failed to convince her.
Well,
Amazing.
anything else you want to do to prepare for
No,
the journey?
Holy shit. Oh, so, okay. I mean, I have all my things. I haven't. I think
I
the
would
only
like
other
some-
thing I would. I think
Yes?
the only other thing I would do is take Mr. Anderson to a firing range, like one set in the back garden, and just check his posture, check his aim, check his stance. Do the quick 1, 2, 3. Can he? Yes. All right. Easy. Because
He's
there's
not
is he a
great.
good shot? No, but is he a danger to other people?
He's better
Unless
than
he
you
means
think he
to.
would be. He has a 1 in it.
I'm going
He-
to spend a bit of extra time with him and get him any higher on that.
Not for now.
Okay.
That would be something you would have
But
to
amusingly-
consider during or think about during this
Kind of
mystery.
curious. I'm actually gonna do a thing then.
Amusingly,
Oh,
he's
actually-
actually probably, at least technically, he is actually better at it than Ansfred.
Yeah,
Ansfred
but he's
has
more
no points
frightened of
in
it.
ranged combat. He is,
Yeah, but
however,
you probably
very.
have a better agility. I have a 2.
I have a 5 in precision. I'm
Glinda
very
has-
precise, but
Yeah.
Glinda has 5 in precision and 5 in ranged combat.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
He has a 5 in precision and a 2 in ranged combat, and I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I did actually get a success, so yeah, I do hit in the middle of the chest at one
Yeah.
point. Although
It's
I reckon
really
there's
just-
a bit of yeah.
It is really just making sure that he was more.
Not going to shoot himself in the foot.
Partially that, partially
Or
actually
somebody
to sort of
else.
make him feel looked after a bit.
Certainly.
Mm.
Yeah.
That being said, at one point, the head of the dummy that you are shooting at will go flying off, and if you look behind you, about 300 feet in the distance is Blender. Like just stood, not even full sniper style, just stood.
She's on the
hot shot.
roof.
All right.
I think the blowback would probably mean that he like adjusts his hair a little bit, a little self-consciously, and but yeah.
Excellent.
All right.
I would just like to make sure that I have silver and regular bullets for my handgun as well.
Yeah.
before
Okay.
we leave.
Yep.
Yes,
Absolutely.
same.
You can.
I've got a 24
as
pack
well.
of silver bullets here.
All
Cool.
right. And as you prepare for the journey the following day, the late autumn sun setting to the west, because that's how directions work. That's how the real
We
world
usually
works.
do that, yeah.
The sun
Starts
is setting to
setting in
the
the
right.
Yeah. No, that's the Feywild.
No, to
The sun
right.
Yeah.
is setting. It's about 6 p.m. as the sun starts to set, and the chill starts picking up. The wind coming in from the cold Baltic Sea. That is where we're going to be wrapping up for now.
Alright.